If it's clear and yellow, you've got juice there, fella. If it's tangy and brown, you're in cider town. Now, there's 2 exceptions, and it gets kind of tricky here.
You can stay, but I'm leaving.
Can be yellow if they're using late-season apples. And, of course, in Canada, the whole thing's flip-flop.
Pointed out, like, at one point I talked to my Netflix friends, and I was like, I mean, did you see this? Like, are we in trouble? And they were very kind, and this is not meant to mock anybody, but they were like, Kevin, do you think we decide to pick up other seasons of shows based on the audience rating at Rotten Tomatoes? And I was like, you don't? And they're like, fuck no.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff today, including some stuff that's going on with Netflix, live action Resident Evil being made fun of by Japan, and all sorts of other stuff with my guest tonight, Literature Devil. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. A little warm, but it always is in hell.
Oh my God, you are such an interesting person to me because I met you through Az while we were shout out to Az, by the way, Hot Toys, heel versus babyface.
Very fun person.
I met you when we were doing the live the awesome anime streams. And I love that you love good anime like I do, and I love that you hate shitty live action adaptations of them like I do. So I thought I'd invite you on my channel and have a discussion with you, get to know you better, and yeah, stuff like that. So tell everyone out there on the chats who you are, what you're doing on YouTube, just a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello everyone. Hello everyone in chat. I'm Literature Devil on YouTube. I go over different things to cover basically the mechanics of storytelling and narrative, and kind of do. Well, it turned into a little bit of debunking some of their little narratives of, Mary Sues and things like that. Exactly why we don't like the Mary Sues. It's not because they're women. It's because they're awful. It's just because they're awfully written and things like that. So kind of just breaking their narrative. They really don't like that. One of the things that really made them angry is my video that superhero comics are for men. They didn't like that one. Oh. But I use the science. And it's not just, it's like, oh, it's just for men. You're saying, no. It's because men prefer certain things and women prefer other certain things. And the thing is, anime and manga, they have it down. I put that in the other video they don't like, which goes over the fact that in manga, there's shonen and shoujo. So they know that girls and boys like different things. And it's correct. It's just people are different. I don't know. People have different wants and desires and things. It's just how it goes. But that's kind of what I go over, the basic functions of the narrative, the mechanics of how a story should fit together, how a character should fit together, why we don't like the characters we don't like, and why we do like the characters we do like. And basically stuff like that.
That's great. So you break narratives all the time, but about, stuff that's going on in our culture wars, and what we're trying to fight against, this whole Mary Sue idea, and why it is that people don't like certain things and the science of it.
Right.
That's really fascinating stuff. Now, are you what is your background? Are you are you into literature? Like, were you a literature teacher?
I will say I do have a degree. So according to Twitter, that means I'm right about everything.
Oh, you're an expert.
You can't question me.
Yeah.
So whatever I say, do you have an English degree? If you don't, then you're wrong. So that part really helped me out a lot. So I can say whatever I want. I'm never ever wrong.
So you're an expert, and there's no denying your authority.
My authority. You gotta trust the science. And by science, I mean me. You have to. If you don't trust me, you're a bigot. I think That is how it
Yes,
works.
100%. I mean, I try not to be bigoted all the time, so I try to listen to the experts. More often than not, I feel like the experts have their heads up their asses, but you know what? That's beside the point. It doesn't mean they're not right about whatever they're saying. Hey, whatever. But yeah, so like we ended up hanging out once too because we really didn't like the live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, and that's kind
Cursed
of,
live action adaptation.
I mean, it
That was
kind of brought us
awful.
together.
You know, it was one of those things. It was awful, but it did bring people together. It's kind of like The Last Jedi. Like it's really awful, kind of genre slaughtering, but it brought everyone together. It
did.
launched 1,000 ships.
It did. It took me to the next level because I made a petition to keep the live action adaptation canceled. And that was the first time that had ever happened, apparently. So I was put in like an article about how someone made a petition to keep it canceled.
Keep the trash in the trash.
Yeah, we don't want any more of that garbage. But you know what? Netflix was like, you know what? Yeah, you do. Well, not like Cowboy Bebop, but other things. We're not done. But we're going to talk about that tonight, you guys. We're going to talk about some of this kind of stuff. So what's interesting to me though is at first, like back in April, this kind of happened, like where Netflix, well, first of all, they canceled Netflix in Russia. So they were they had a huge hit of just losing subscribers. That's kind of what happens when you ban a whole country, especially a country as big and populated as Russia.
Russia is
your
enormous.
system.
Like Russia is huge. So
Massive.
yeah, they must have lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think they canceled Russia just because like of the war. And so
Yes.
like, oh no, you're fighting the war by canceling Putin's Netflix account. I'm pretty sure he'll live, guys.
Yeah, it was like the same thing with like all the different stuff that they canceled. That like they canceled like McDonald's and Starbucks and like all sorts of other stuff that was like, that's the stuff that Russia doesn't like anyway. Like they're like
Yeah.
they want to be healthy and they're kind of like, well, whatever. Like it's not a big loss.
They
Like
don't really like American culture like the leaders don't really like American culture encroaching in on Russian culture. They don't like that. So they're just basically helping out what Putin wants.
You're
So
doing them a favor. Yeah.
And what else? Oh yeah, so they're waging war as not on Putin, but they're waging a kind of war they know would annoy like SJWs and Americans. Like, oh no, my Netflix account.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, like my woke Netflix account. And that's the other thing too, is that the funny part about it is that Russians hate woke entertainment. So they were like, Netflix, like who cares?
And
like
most people do. Like most humans do. Like it's weird. And imagine like if we're back in 1945 or around that area, around the World War II era, and we hear that Hitler is invading Poland. Hitler invades Poland. What? He broke the treaty. Cancel his Netflix account. We got him. Peach at our time.
Got him. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Like, can you imagine that was the news at the time? Like, we will, I don't know what kind of newspapers that they have. We canceled their subscription to this whatever news outlet is there, and then they're like, okay, like
Japan bombs us at Pearl Harbor. Oh yeah, canceled their Netflix accounts too. All right, we win.
You're canceled, and you're canceled. Oh my God.
We stopped Japan from watching the last season of Game of Thrones. Peace in our time.
This is how we achieve peace. Rick Tal Reuter, hi Russell Hall. I like your icon. For $2 says Netflix needs more butt stuff. Oh, that's like, dude, I think that's called Pornhub, dude. You can check that out. Ultra Maximus reviews, or Ultra Maximus says for $5, hi Nina, have you seen the Powerpuff Girls live action? If not, pull that up too. Boo. Did you get that PO box for your swag? I need to send turtle love. No, I haven't gotten a PO box yet. I've been so busy. I haven't even had time to look into it. But I will. And as soon as I do, I'll let you know. That's a good idea, though. I will pull up, even though it's not Netflix. That was ridiculous. I was like, what?
It's still nightmarishly horrible. And
yeah,
basically just someone went, let's take the Powerpuff Girls and make it degenerate. Just do that. So the last time I read it, it was awful.
Dude, well, I thought that they canceled it.
Me too.
And then they were like, "No, it's not canceled. We're still doing it." And it's so weird too because like a few weeks ago they were acquired for like $0, like the CW was. And I was like, "Wait." And the person who acquired you didn't say like throw this in the trash, like we're not doing this.
I mean, if they were acquired for $0, I should have bought it and threw it in the trash. I should have bought it and canceled it.
Okay, here it is. I actually just pulled it up just so people can see.
The last time I read it, it was like like there's supposed to be sisters who love each other. That was the original show. They were the superheroes, and then they had like two sisters. Two of them, I forgot which ones. I think it was Blossom and Buttercup or Blossom and Bubbles. They're going to blackmail their other sister into doing what they wanted because they had her nudes. I'm like, what is happening?
Whoa!
These aren't the Powerpuff Girls that are supposed to be heroes. This is not what heroes do.
No, and I heard that was the whole plan with this too, is that they wanted to make it like very like Riverdale-ish, like it's like they're teenagers and they're like going to, whatever, fight about boys.
It kind of reminds me of when I talk about in my superhero comics for men, where to boil it down, men prefer physical conflicts, which is what you get in shonen anime. And women prefer social conflicts, by and large, in general, which is what you get in shoujo anime. Shoujo anime, romance. That's why a lot of feminists, even feminists, really like that Elizabethan era, that Elizabeth Bronte era, where the women are just forced to do things they don't want to, because it's social conflict. They like that stuff. That's why they enjoy the kind of like when they aged up Superman's son from kid to just barely underage, like to 17, and then having to have a scandalous gay relationship. Like women prefer social conflict, so that's why you get all these movies that are for women, like The Princess Bride. Yeah, it's physical conflict, but it's really about romance and the clashing of classes and things like that. So
I love that movie.
Oh, me too. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. Good. It's actually a movie. Or actually, the whole Princess Bride thing is actually a really, really good example of how to break the narrative and why politics suck. But we'll get that a little bit, I guess. But this is,
you can talk about politics all you want on here, by the way. You can
sure.
Say whatever you want.
But yeah, the Princess Bride, the movie combined with the book, really good stuff. But with this, it's like when a lot of they started hiring a bunch of female creators to go into superhero comics. And soy boys, which are just kind of the same thing. They proved me right. I mean, they destroyed comics, but they proved me right, because as soon as they got into a place of power within superhero comics, American superhero comics, it did switch from physical conflict to more social conflict. Now they went from like Superman punching Lex Luthor to everyone eating pizza and talking about feelings and stuff and popping pimples.
Well, and like, everyone's gay now in like DC and Marvel. I feel like it's like that's like the next thing is like, okay, well, like we don't know what to do, so we just need like gay versions of all these characters and like maybe black versions of all these characters. Like it's a really weird thing where they've actually stepped away from the social construct that you're talking about, and they're just talking about just like surface stuff now, like skin color and gender identity and all that kind of stuff, like sexual orientation, which nobody really cares about. Like we want the stories. We don't want like weird stuff like this. And I mean, look at this. This is fucking terrible looking. What the hell?
I can actually give you an example of how they do it wrong. So they have this I think it was during Pride Month, where they had a special little story where Jonathan Kent, Superman's son,
yes,
comes out as gay to his mother.
Yes.
And then she just immediately accepts him. And I was like, okay, sure, but that's not a story. So the thing is that a lot of people struggle with the fact that their family doesn't accept it. They encounter some obstacle as to how they're not accepted. They receive some hostility, some pushback. Sometimes you hear them even like disowned by their parents and things like that. Yes. That's a huge struggle, a huge fear, and it's really miserable. I would suspect from where they have to keep a big giant secret, a big part of themselves, a big giant secret from those they love the most. And That's a story where Jonathan Kent just comes out to his mom, and then everything is just hunky dory. That's not really what they need right now. Like, oh look, here's a story about everything being fantastic. Well, that's not helping out anybody. What they should have done, what they don't do, but what they should do, is have a story where he's not accepted by his parents. And how do you rectify that? That's what would really help out people. Like, okay, so Jonathan Kent had to go through this, and he endured. He took the blows, he took the brunt, he suffered, he really felt the blow to his heart, but he was able to persevere anyway. Because that's what heroes do. They take the pain, they take the hits, and they overcome the obstacle and keep going anyway. But with these things, it's never obstacle. They never encounter these obstacles. It's always just pans out for them with no real work.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that you say that, because I don't know, have you seen that new movie? It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think.
I heard it was awesome, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that one is a really good. I watched it because Mahler watched it and said it was really good, so I watched it, and I thought, well, okay, first of all, it's fucking crazy. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, obviously, because I want you to watch it, but it has this exact struggle that you're talking about. So they have this like kind of like the gay struggle in, especially because it's like an Asian movie, so like it's about like, you know, acceptance from that cultural aspect of it,
right?
And they have that intertwined in the movie, but the way that they tell the story doesn't seem woke. It doesn't seem like preachy. It doesn't seem like any of the stuff that we get with like Netflix adaptations and the things that you just the comic books that you just said. It was just really well done and talking about literally what you just said, like the struggle of an actual gay person and what that means when their parents doesn't accept them, but that intertwined with this kind of insane story that you're like, holy fuck, because like literally everything everywhere all at once. So yeah, it's a really interesting movie, so definitely check that out.
I saw it in a few places being advertised. Like it sounds really, really crazy, like Multiverse of Madness or something like that.
Dude, it's way crazier than Multiverse of Madness. I mean, like Multiverse of Madness wishes that it could even come remotely close to what these people achieved with very little budget, by the way, like because it was an indie movie. And they did something really incredible with what it was. Like the story for me was like just a little bit over the top of what I can usually handle, because after I watched it, I felt like I got raped in the face. Like I was like, my eyes were like literally watering because it was just so much happening on the screen at once, where I'm like, it's just like an overload of like information, like sensory wise, you know? But other than that, it was great. It was very creative. I can't complain about something like that. When it just always gets to me, because people are like, well, you complain about gay people in movies all the time, so you must be a homophobe. And I'm like, I don't complain about it if it's done right. Like I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not one of those people who cares if there's gay people in a movie. Like
if usually like if people here over here in the West, nobody actually cares. Like people are very tolerant over here. People are very, very tolerant over here. And in Canada, I know in America they are. The news, like on the news, America is like a Nazi state or something like that. But in real life, America is very tolerant. But yeah, so that whole thing is that I found out, or it'd be better described, the wokeness is not really a list of elements. They need to be. They need to be, okay, so woke means it has a black person in it, or woke means it has a woman as the main character. And they came after Rippa with the Rippaverse. Yeah. And it's like, but his character is black. Doesn't mean it's woke. Like, no, they need it to be that way. They need to be, black character.
Because that's how they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that way, when we don't like it, it must be because we're bigots. I mean, when we say that we don't like woke movies, it must be because we're all racists and bigots and stuff. But that's not how it is. I mean, every single flavor of character they try to promote has actually been in Western media for years, if not decades. Gay, women protagonists, black, Latino, everything. Asian protagonists, they've always been there.
I'm watching DS9 right now, and it's literally what you're saying, because it's like every time I'm watching it, and like not watching it for the first time, I'm watching it probably for like the 10th time, but
right.
Every time I'm seeing it, like, because you forget certain episodes, and then like certain things happen and then you're like, wow, they did this in like DS9 like way back then. And it's not that it was woke, but it was progressive, and it was like the idea of that this is the future. In the future, we're not going to care about skin color of a captain or whatever. We're not going to care about those kind of things anymore because we've evolved past those things. Now we're like dealing with aliens and like, for example, you have Jadzia's character being a fucking symbiotic, relationship in a, with a worm inside her body, and how that works, and like those complicated characters where it's the things are way more like the struggles are more complicated than just your skin color or like the struggle of sexual orientation, because that's
Exactly.
just we're past that. But now it feels like Star Trek and other science fiction have taken a step backwards and gone back to no, we still care about all this stuff. And it's like, I thought we evolved past these things.
Yeah,
I don't
we did a long
understand.
time ago. We evolved past so many things, and then they try to make it, Star Trek all bigoted and stuff like that. You're like, oh, the Federation is evil and Nazis or whatever, and then you had this,
Commies.
they always need to write themselves as resistance fighters for some reason. They really like the fact that they're resistance fighters. So even the new Star Wars, where the good guys are control the galaxy, their little crew is called the Resistance for some reason. I'm like, who are you resisting yourselves? You're in control of everything. But I said DS9, they actually do the opposite of what SJWs do. They actually preach real tolerance, not just tolerant to people you like. They actually preach real tolerance. And one of my favorite examples is one of my favorite episodes of all time. And to me, the only really viable episode in season 1. Everything else is kind of like, okay, season 1. But I think it's called Duet. I think it's called Duet, where they have the Cardassian who comes in to the station, and he's like, yeah, I have Patrick syndrome. Give me the medicine.
Yes. I just very recently saw it.
That one's so good. That was based off a book of a real life situation that went on between this guy who lied. I mean, I think he was a Jewish former Jewish prisoner, but lied or something like that. I forgot exactly how it went. But the Cardassian comes in. He pretends to be this guy who is just a file clerk, but because he has Patrick syndrome, that must mean he was at basically how it's described, like the Bajoran
kind
version
of like their concentration camp.
Yeah. And those who are at Galatep, it was like a place called Galatep, which was apparently like their version of Auschwitz, like really, really bad, like horrible, nightmarish place, like people getting raped and buried alive and all kinds of stuff. Horrible place. So basically, any Cardassian with Patrick syndrome is a war criminal just for being there. They even asked that. So he's like a war criminal just for being there? Yes. She said very much just said yes. And this was interesting because Kira Nerys is part of the oppressed class of that era. And she's like, oh yeah, she acts as the same manner as the SJW, where he is the oppressor. He must be punished and destroyed just for being there. And I mean, Kira's more open-minded than that, but it's just this situation that really triggered her. And so she proceeds with, he's guilty. He needs to die. He needs to be paid, pay the price for the wrongdoings that he made just for being there, existing.
Yeah.
And then they find out that he was lying and that he is actually
he was the file clerk.
But it's weird. It twists twice. It's crazy. So
because they think that he's Galdar Heel, but then it turns out that they do more digging, and then if it turns out that he did like reconstructive surgery to look like him,
he can be guilty.
So that he can be guilty because he felt guilty, and he was like, I wasn't that, like, oh my God. And the performance too, like
this guy's a great actor, by the way.
Still brought tears to my eyes, like literally watching it the other night, and I was like kind of like teary-eyed in that scene when he's like, I was there and I couldn't hear them scream anymore, and he was like
I'm Maritza, I'm that bug, I'm Maritza who could only cover his ears. As he hears this screaming and starts crying, like, wow, it's like a really good powerful switching of motion and character, and
just incredible.
And then we learn, Kira finds out that he's guilty and that he feels this. He went basically insane because of the guilt that he felt.
Yes. And
she forgave him. And the really interesting part at the end is, he gets murdered by another Bajoran who says he's a Cardassian. That's reason enough to murder him. And then Kira ends the episode with saying, no, it's not. Having changed her mind from basically discounting all Kardashians as evil, and changed her mind because she saw him as a person, even though he has Patrick syndrome, even though he was there at Galatep, even though he was a Kardashian and a former oppressor who worked at Galatep. It's not always that cut and dry.
It was an incredible character evolution as well. That episode alone was a huge stepping stone for Kira's character, because before that, she was just so black and white about the war and that the Kardashians were just fucking awful. And they're, who cares? Who cares? Like, whatever they are, they're Kardashians. Exactly. But at the end of this, it was an incredible stepping stone for her character. And again, the show is just like absolutely amazing. And these are the things that we had as entertainment back in the day. I saw another episode the other night, and it was really crazy. It was the episode where they're going into the the other quadrant, not Delta,
the Gamma quadrant.
Yeah, over the wormhole.
Yeah,
they're going to the Gamma quadrant. So they're going over there. And just, it's like the episode starts out like this. And then all of a sudden they realize that, hey, there's humans here. There's like a human colony here. What the hell is going on? And they go down to the planet and they realize that there's no technology working there, but there's a colony. Oh, yeah. And then they realize that the colony was run by kind of like these hippies.
And crazy professor lady.
Yeah, the crazy professor lady. And she was like, basically like, killing people for her ideology, because she was the one that had stopped the technology from working, and she was like, I was the one who developed the technology to do this.
She ruined everyone's lives.
She was ruining people's lives for her own, and like literally killing people. And she was like, I don't like, this is what we've achieved together. And it's like, I just made me think about all the environmentalists here, like right now, just screaming about like, we need to save everyone.
And back to the dark ages.
Yeah, let's go back to the dark ages, and then we can save the pollution. Like, it's just like, dude, you need to calm your tits, because that is not how you handle things. It's like ideology over life, even, and that's the craziest thing that we're going through right now.
And I think they even asked her, like, would you let your son die for your ideology? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, of course I would. And the son's just standing there like,
okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm on the chopping block next, Mom. Like,
yes, Mom. Yes, okay. It was great, and Cisco just defied her, like because Cisco's awesome. Cisco's the guy who punched out a god.
Yes,
and the god never came back. He punched out Q, and Q was like, you're gonna be way easier than Picard. And he ran away, never came back. Yeah,
he was like, Picard never punched me. Like, I'm not Picard.
Like, I'm not Picard. You'll step back up, I'll punch you again.
Yeah. AMC Donna, thank you so much for the 5. Says, hey Nina, it's your job to convince Mahler and the real BBC to watch Severance and review it with you. Also, I recommend For All Mankind. It's so good. I will have to check out For All Mankind. Several people have recommended that to me, and I love Joel Kinnaman. I think he's really hot. So I'm down. I'm down for that. Trying to convince people to do things though is a whole other story, because
that can be tough.
Yeah. It's just, I could just say, hey, watch this, and then they can do it or they can not do it. I can't force anyone to do anything. Like right now, I told Literature Devil, watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's up to him whether he wants to watch it or not. By the way, Severance is a great show. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet. Everyone's trying to get me to watch Arcane. I haven't watched that one yet either.
Oh, dude, I watched Arcane.
I heard it was great.
I had thoughts. I was
oh no, not
Mahler and I did not agree on certain things. My thoughts are very controversial when it comes to Arcane, because a lot of people are like, you fuck you. I'm just like, no. But I didn't like the main character at all. Like, I was like, I am not down with this girl, like V or whatever her name is. Like, I was like, I'm not down with this main character. And Mahler loves her. Like, he thinks it's like she's done, like, he thinks that she's the female protagonist done right. And I'm like, she's the most obnoxious.
She's psycho.
No, her sister's the psycho one.
Okay.
But she's just obnoxious and awful and like just manly, just wants to pick a fight with everybody, not feminine at all. Like it's just basically everything that's wrong with a female character for me is her. My mind you, like she did do some work. Like I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. She deserves to be as strong as she is. Like that's the only part about her that it's like fine. Like she's not a Mary Sue because she like actually does the stuff to like, you know, get to where she is. But she's not a very likable character. So I was like, I can't identify with this. I like her psycho sister more than her, and I don't think that was the plan of the show.
I see the psycho sister everywhere. It's like, oh, I thought she was the main protagonist.
No, she's the one with the blue hair is like the psycho sister, and then the one with the pink hair is the protagonist. She's the and then the one with the psycho sister is kind of like a cross between like Harley Quinn and like I don't know. It's a very big nod to Harley Quinn because she's got like, you know, that psychoness going
kind
for
of
her.
Playful, bubbly psycho.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like it's just a very big nod to that, which is not a problem. I love
People
Harley
like that.
Quinn.
I mean,
I like it too.
There's a reason why people like the original Harley Quinn, and then it just ruined her, right? By just making like some feminist icon.
Well, now she's just a lesbian like everybody else. Like it's just that's the only thing that people know about her. Yeah, Jinx, that's the character.
You're unique and different. It's like everyone else.
Yeah, it's just now it's like, oh, like Harley Quinn, she's gay with Poison Ivy. And it's like
like put her back with the Joker. Like, no, that's evil. You want her to be in an abusive relationship? Yes, I want Harley Quinn to be in an abusive relationship. Yes, I do.
Yes, that was the character. She was supposed to be a fucking doormat.
The thing is, it's because if she stops being with the Joker, she should return to normal. It's not. She shouldn't just remain Harley Quinn after she leaves the Joker. That was the whole thing. Like she starts to turn back to normal after she leaves the Joker. Boom, back to normal. The Joker is the core of her psychosis. That was the thing. But that's what's happened. Yes, I want her to be in a horrific abusive relationship with the Joker because she's a fictional character.
Yes.
Okay. Her relationship with the Joker makes the drama and the interesting stuff happen. Okay.
Yeah.
These characters are pawns. These are little meat sticks that you torture and abuse for a story. Okay, that's what they are.
And they did it really well on in the Batman series, like the animated series, because they did the Girls' Night Out version where she's like kind of like taking a break from the Joker, and then she goes and like does her Girls' Night Out with Poison Ivy, and I think it was. Forget the other girl, but I think it was mostly Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
And they're like hanging out and like robbing stores and like doing other shit. And then in the end, she's like, well, I'm going to go back to Mr. J now.
He's out of jail. Time to go back.
Yeah. And then like Poison Ivy's all like disappointed in her because she's like, dude,
I think Poison Ivy was like a big sister type of her.
She was a big sister to her at the time, but now they're lesbians.
Now they have to be lesbians because they don't know what friends are. So everyone's just like, oh, she must be a lesbian. You must be into each other. It's the same
thing with dudes. It's like dudes can't be friends either. They have to be gay together now. It's like you can't have, bromances.
Exactly.
It all has to be that.
There's no more Turk and JD being, just hilariously intimate in their friendship. It's just, men get a lot of crap for how they write women, like, oh, this is definitely written by a man. But I can always tell when a woman writes to men because it's always there's no friendship. Like they have no idea that male friendship is very intimate. It actually is. I mean, you go back to the ancient Greek times, it's not quite as intimate as that, but it's along the same lines. Like so, the Turk and JD from Scrubs, their friendship is pretty much on par of how men's friendship actually is.
I've never seen Scrubs. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, they even have it's so intimate. They even have a song called "Guy Love." It's this guy love. He's mine, I'm his.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's a really good song.
I like there's a couple bromances actually in DS9. Like there's one with Miles and Dr. Bashir.
God, that was a hilarious one.
Such a good bromance. And nowadays they'd be like, no, they gotta be gay together. They have to be
gay, yeah. Like, they almost did that back then, but with Bashir and Garrick. They really tried to get Garrick and Bashir together, but they didn't.
Really? But it didn't work.
It didn't work. It didn't work. At all. But it did work in the fan fiction zone. So like the Bashir and Garrick fan fiction not only took over DS9 fan fiction, like pretty much was DS9 fan fiction, But I remember
Good Lord.
this one conversation between Miles and Bashir. Miles is complaining about his wife Keiko because she's like just going off and doing things and complaining and stuff. And he's like, "Why can't you just understand? Why, like you? I mean, he's like, you Bashir, you understand, you get it." And Bashir's like, "So what you really are saying is you wish Keiko were more like a man?" And he's like, "I'm done talking to you."
Oh my God. There's another bromance too in this series that I really love, and that's the friendship of Nog and Jake.
That was good. That was an organic, fantastic friendship.
And it was so cool because it showed that like at first, like everybody was against the friendship, including Cisco, and he thought that like Jake was going to get influenced by Nog. But Nog was the one that got influenced by Jake.
Exactly.
And it was so cool that the way that they did that from the beginning of to the end, like, and how their relationship evolved and how it was just such a sweet relationship. And now they'd be like, "Oh, you guys are gay together now."
Then they're gay now. They have to be gay now because they're friends. We don't know what friends are. They're just gay now.
Yeah, they'd be like sitting up there, like on the upper pylons, like checking out girls, because that's literally what they did. Like
every single time, like, they're just checking out girls.
Every single time. Now it'd be like, oh, like, you know,
like an episode
Nog's
end.
hand touches Jake's like thigh by accident, and it's like, oh, I feel like I'm sexually confused now, and like maybe I like you.
Like probably end an episode with a kiss or something.
Yeah, like,
like oh my goodness.
No. Ultra Maximus, thank you so much for the $5. Says Devil, I picked up a spider punk and it was anti-capitalism and written like an 80-year-old Taylor Lorenz thinks how Gen Z soy boys and they thems talk in real life. So gross. Well, there you go.
Spider punk. They really don't like capitalism. It's kind of weird because Star Trek also did that. Gene Roddenberry also did that. Had like an anti-capitalism vibe, and then sold Next Generation for this extortionary amount of money, and then wrote lyric. You know that the opening song to Star Trek, Star Trek Next Generation, like it's the song, the Star Trek song. That song actually has lyrics that Gene Roddenberry wrote, but you never hear those lyrics because Gene Roddenberry wrote those lyrics specifically so he wouldn't have to give royalties to the guy who wrote the song.
Wow, I never knew that it had lyrics.
Yeah, nobody does because they're never on screen. You never hear them, but it does have lyrics. But he those lyrics never meant to be heard. He only wrote those lyrics so he wouldn't have to pay the actual composer any royalties.
That's crazy.
You have to keep all the money. Anti-capitalism.
That's a bit of a dick move on Gene's part, but I understand at the same time. God. Deranged Lunatic, aka DL, thank you so much for the $1.99. Says in Lord of the Rings, they make Sam and Frodo gay nowadays. You know, that's
they will be.
You know, the thing is that that's kind of been an ongoing thing, though, I feel like for years, like since the first movie came out, like since the Fellowship came out, because I remember like I went to the Fellowship with a bunch of friends of mine, and like we had this argument like after the show, like and after the movies, that like if they were gay together, and I was like, they're not gay, they're just friends, but like people were like they acted friends. Gay, and I was like, maybe
do you not have friends?
Hobbits, like I don't understand that, like I don't think they're gay. And then like I remember one of my friends was like, in the last movie when he's like, but it's me, sir, it's your Sam, and he's like, see, he's so gay. I'm like, that's literally in the book. Like, you know, like it's like a line from the book.
It's your friend. You're basically saying it was different back then. Okay, that was like, you know, it's medieval era, medieval times. They had things like that. I mean, this is the era where their men will kiss each other in terms of friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not it hasn't always been today what it was, you know, yesterday. Okay. And things have changed over time.
Things have changed. Things have very much changed. 200 Watt Studios for $5 says, hey guys, love you. Just moved into my Florida house after moving out of California. Yay!
All right, you made the escape. Fantastic.
Congratulations, 200 Watt Studios. I'm so happy for you. Here is, let me see if I can find a video for you. Okay, here's a video for you because you love it. Some turtle love. Some turtle love for 200 Watt Studios, who's turtle loving in his Florida house now.
And that's how the Ninja Turtles were born.
Yep. That's exactly how they were born. Thank you for that, 200 Watt Studios. But okay, so let's get to Netflix, because Netflix is not done with ruining things. First of all, I haven't seen it, but have you seen the new Resident Evil?
No, I avoided that one, but I know people who have seen it. And they say it's awful.
Yeah,
really bad.
I know Az has been watching it, and he thinks it's freaking god awful. This is 200 Watt Studios for 5 says, my favorite fan fiction was Nog and Jake Go to the Badlands. I hate you.
The Badlands.
Oh no. 200 Watt Studios.
Nog and Jake Go to White Castle. I want to see that movie.
Oh, see, okay. That I would watch. That I would watch for sure. Okay. So I saw this article floating around and I thought it was funny because, well, Japan is funny. Japanese fans criticize Netflix's Resident Evil more like politically correct hazard.
Yeah, the countries in the East do not put up with this SJW nonsense. They just laugh at them.
They do, and they hate. And I know we talked about Russia already, but Russia hates woke stuff. Even at this point, even Japan is like, what the fuck was this? Because they usually, and this article mentions it, that they're usually really good about being forgiving. So it says Netflix just kicks off a new Resident Evil series, and as initially expected, the show has been scoring poorly amongst casual fans, including those in Japan, who are generally more forgiving when it comes to live action adaptations. I've never been to Resident Evil, and that's why I haven't watched it. But dude, of course I wouldn't watch this. This is terrible. Since Netflix's new Resident Evil show debuted on July 14th, it has now scored as low as 53% by critics and 1.8 amongst users on Metacritic. I don't know anything about Metacritic. Is this bad? I don't know.
Yellow, so I assume it's like mid-tier probably.
Okay, mid-tier for
but
that.
I assume that they did this what they do with all these things that men like, and they turned it into like a kind of a sitcom, or like a one of those things that's just about like dialogue and how women are awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And you kind of skip out on the action stuff. Like how just Halo is more about Master Chief getting naked and having sex rather than actually fighting aliens.
God, I heard about that too. Like I never watched it, but I heard that it was really terrible. Real quick before I forget, because I just checked the chat from the YouTube side, and Esme sent a member message. Thank you, Esme. Says you're streaming. Hey, hi Nina. I'm working and listening. Hi, Esme. I hope you're having a good night working. But yeah, so this is interesting. This is an interesting score. While there are plenty of shows and movies that score lower with critics don't mean shit, by the way. It's like, whatever, who cares? And higher with the general audience, it wasn't the case of Resident Evil, with scores as low as 22% from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes and 3.6 on IMDb. Now, we remember this is why I played this clip during the beginning of the show by Kevin Smith, because he had this to say about Rotten Tomatoes scores and Netflix.
Pointed out, like at one point I talked to my Netflix friends and I was like, I mean, did you see this? Like, are we in trouble? And they were very kind, and this is not meant to mock anybody, but they were like, Kevin, do you think we decide to pick up other seasons of shows based on the audience rating at Rotten Tomatoes? And I was like, you don't? And they're like, fuck no.
Like, are you surprised by that? Like, what? You make terrible business decisions? That's interesting. It's a weird way to run a business.
Yeah, he's like, you don't? Like, he was actually surprised about that.
I can't believe you continue with shows that obviously are being hated by the people who watch them. That's interesting, but okay.
And people don't want any more, and they're like, "No, we're still gonna give you money to make more. Don't worry." And he's
who
like,
cares? "Oh, yeah, the audience they don't matter, right? I guess they don't matter.
We don't matter. Apparently, we don't matter." And so this score means nothing to Netflix. That means you probably will see a season 2. Of Resident Evil. I'm just taking a wild guess here because apparently Netflix doesn't give a shit.
I just assume they just order things with like 3 seasons in ahead. So like season 1 sucks, season 2 sucks, season 3 sucks. Okay, we're done with this show. I just assume they just go in and just order a bunch of shows, a bunch of episodes. I'm not really sure. I think just to produce content because people just watch it anyway.
What they do, because there was like, for example, there was a show on Netflix that I actually really liked, and it was OG content though. It was called The OA. Have you heard of it or seen it?
I don't think I watched that one.
I really liked that show. And I thought it was a really amazing kind of like indie project. Again, a really captivating story shown through a different, retelling the same sci-fi kind of story, but in a different way. So I liked how creative it was. Britt Marling is a really, really creative person, and she's the person who made it, and she starred in it as well. She was the main actress. But then they canceled it after season 2. Like, I guess it just went like way too crazy for them. So they were like, "Nope, we're canceling it." But it was because it went like kind of like out there. But I really liked it, and I was really sad that they canceled it. And I think that they didn't. I don't think they planned that out, even though she said that they planned it out with, I forget the guy's name, but he's a Persian dude, actually, the guy that co-wrote it with her. She said that they had a plan for like a 3 to 5 season arc, but that Netflix was going season by season. So they only gave them like 2. And that's why it got canceled.
That makes sense. It seemed like they actually cared about the show, so obviously they were under more scrutiny. Like, you're making a good show here. We're Netflix. We don't really dabble in good shows.
Yeah, they were like good shows.
I just feel like Netflix is really pulling that. Have you seen The Producers? I feel like it's a producer-style scam.
It is 100%. They're doing the producers thing and I love it because Larry David made fun of that in Curb Your Enthusiasm. And have you seen that season where he's doing the producers?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, it's so good. And he made fun of that. And like he in the new one too, like in the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, he makes fun of Netflix for making shitty shows. So he literally shows like what happens when you want to go to Netflix and get funded for a show, but like behind the scenes, he's being sued by some guy because like, long story short, some dude died in his pool, and the brother of the dude started to like basically like blackmail him because he didn't have a fence around his pool. So he was like, "I'm going to blackmail you if you don't put my daughter in your new show. My daughter's an up-and-coming actress." And she was like terrible. Like she was like a fucking terrible actress. And she's like, and he's like, "You have to put her as like the main girl in your new show." And so he does. And he's like, and then so they go to Netflix, and Netflix is like, "Are you sure you want her as like the main character, Larry?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. Like, let's do this." And they're like, "Okay." Like, and the people that they show for Netflix's cast are like, there's literally like one lady for like that's like a giant black lady in like a wheelchair and stuff like that. And there's like a super flaming gay guy, and like they're all like the diversity hires. It's so fucking funny. Larry David's like just still killing it.
That was kind of like this plot. I think he was wasn't also did Cheers, or was that something else? Was that Seinfeld or something like that? I forgot. There was something else he did. I forgot which other show it was. But it reminds me of this episode of Frasier, which is like a spin-off of Cheers, and where I think Niles' wife Maris gets like so many parking tickets over the course of a few years that she's going to go to jail. She just never pays them. And so like she calls Niles, even though they're getting divorced, and she's like, "Hey, can you help me out with this thing?" And he's like, "Sure, fine." And then Roz has like this contact with like this mob guy who she used to date. And by the way, the mob guy is the actor who plays a mob guy in the episode. Same guy plays Maritza in that episode. The duet.
Oh yeah, is it?
Yeah, it's same actor.
No way, that's so cool.
It's a mob guy. He's just funnier here, but yeah, he's like, okay. At the end of the episode, he's like, "Okay, I'll forgive you. You just have to hire my girlfriend. You just have to hire her because
that's hilarious.
She wants to work, and she's so terrible at everything." He's like, "I need some place to hire her that if she burns down the building, they'll apologize to her for making it so flammable." She's ruins everything.
Oh my God, you're right. I just looked it up. You were right. He's in that. It's been a long time since I've watched Frasier, but I love that show. Such a good show.
There's a speaking of Frasier, there was an interesting thing that I heard behind the scenes by the creators, and when they were developing the character of Daphne, who is the British
Yes.
physical therapist,
Mhm.
they were conflicted with, should we make her British, should we make her Latino? Like they were juggling between British and Hispanic or Mexican. And the reason why they're doing that is because they didn't. It's not they wanted to fill a checkbox like we have diversity. No, what they want to do was they thought it'd be funnier because of the culture clash that would result from that. Because Frasier is very elitist American.
Yes, and so is Niles.
Yeah, and so Niles is really elitist American.
Mhm.
And then, but Daphne or the hypothetical Mexican lady that they would have in there would be obviously working class and not American. So but obviously they went with Daphne, who is British, but they still had the same culture clash. So it wasn't about, we need to have a non-white person in here. No, it was about difference of basically organic diversity, where they didn't have a Daphne character in there for the sake of checking off a box. They had her in there because of all the crazy shenanigans that would arise because of the culture clash. And that's the reason why they had her in there.
And that's great because I thought it was a great choice. I like it better than the Latino choice personally, because I think it's funnier when it's like, I don't know, just British people are just so funny to me. I don't know.
Especially working class, like Daphne.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like her stories about her mom in England and stuff like that. And then when later on her mom comes there and her crazy brother too. Like, oh my God. Speaking of Frasier and crazy reboots, that's getting a reboot.
He's really trying to reboot Frasier for some reason.
I can't believe he's doing that, to be honest with you, because I'm like, why do you have to fuck with perfection, man? Like, it's not going to be good. Like, I mean, everybody's kind of lost touch with what's good lately. And Kelsey Grammer finally gives an update on the Frasier reboot, says his thoughts on the script and the Frasier reboot teased star date for production. Okay. So apparently it's still being made.
I can't wait for him to get the whole thing made. And it comes out that, he's not playing Frasier. Instead of, they got a black actor to play Frasier now.
No,
that'd be hilarious.
True, is it? Oh, okay. No, okay. I was like, please tell me that's not the case.
I can't wait for that to happen. Like Kelsey Grammer's like, yes, I got Frasier back up and running. Okay, you can't play him though. We're going to get a black actor to play him, and he's going to be gay. And Niles is also going to be black, and he's also going to be gay.
Remember when they had like that episode where they hired that like black lady to be I forget what she was, but she wasn't a real doctor. Yeah, she was like the co-host, and then she wasn't a real doctor though. Yeah. And she started calling herself like doctor or something.
Yeah, I forget what it was. He got really mad. He's like, but you're not really a doctor. Oh,
yeah, you're not a doctor.
She's like, who cares? Just call me doctor.
He's like, I care. I went to doctor school.
I went to medical school. Okay?
Yeah.
He always says I went to Harvard because he did, and everyone calls him on that. So he's like, I went to medical school, okay. And then but the thing is, on that episode, he's like, I want to tell her that she's obnoxious and I can't stand her, but I don't want to be racist.
Yeah. I love that episode because
then there's a part
they dealt with stuff like that back then. Now it's like, how is he gonna do that? Like, you can't do that nowadays.
Like, you can't do it. He'll just like take a dive or something like that. But there's also that part in the episode where Niles like, it's easy, just fire her or something. And then he's like, oh yeah, is that easy? How about you be me?
How about you do it? Yeah.
And then Frasier's like, oh, you a white man? Like, he starts doing the whole like black lady thing. I'm a black lady in a white man's world. Like it goes full blown. That could not happen today. That could not fly today. Never in a million years.
That was another show that I was like, that's another show that I started rewatching the other day was Parks and Rec. Have you ever seen that?
I heard it was good. Another thing I heard it was good, but I haven't seen.
It's great, Literature Devil. Like, it is fantastic. You should definitely watch it. It's basically one of the last good sitcoms. You know what I mean? Like the really good. I definitely not woke. Like, they really knew how to be funny back then, kind of sitcoms. And it was what makes it special really is the fact that it's about the lefties. Like, it's about a Democrat and a lefty, like that. She's the main character. But the idea that they could still make fun of themselves that they had the clash between like her and the like the ultra conservative guy that she would work with, and like how the two would think differently, but at the same time, what makes America great is that they're a team, and like that's what makes them great, is the fact that they come together and they work together. And that was the whole idea of the show. And there's so many things that they would not be able to do today. Like so many of the jokes that they were doing, they wouldn't be able to do today. But they did it really well back then. So that I highly recommend that show.
I'll check it out. Yeah, sounds good to
Definitely.
me. And I had the pleasure of talking to Graham Nolan at one point.
Oh.
He created he former DC creator, created
Mhm.
Bane, the storyline where Batman breaks his back, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he mentioned something like that, how it used to be at DC Comics. I told him that too. I was like, I remember that. I took something away from that last conversation. That was it. Where it used to be, yeah, the comic book industry is full of conservatives, full of lefty liberal types, but they all unite under the idea of making great comics. Now
Mhm.
there's that unity is gone. So you can't be conservative. You're kind of discriminated against if you're conservative. But it used to be just like that. Liberals and conservatives work together under one roof to make great comics.
Yeah,
And they made great comics.
that's what EVS talks about too. Like I've heard him talk about certain things like on streams and stuff like that, where like in his experience of dealing with comic books, like he would go to like DC and Marvel and like the head honchos, well, especially DC because that's where he worked. But he would be like, like people don't like, they're not vibing with this shit. Like, why we keep doing that? And then like, the head honchos are like, we know people aren't vibing with it, but we still have to do it because of the like diversity and like we have quotas to fill. So you have to do it. And so they know people don't want this shit, but they're still doing it. They're like doubling down. And this is why it's so crazy. And that's why Ripa is succeeding, because like people are just sick of this.
Well, that's why they really hate Ripa, because he just smashed their narrative
Yeah.
into pieces. Because the old narrative was that that really made him feel good was that America was racist, like really, really racist. And so that is why their new black character who complains about racism and white people all the time is not instantly reaching Captain America standards. Because if America wasn't racist, all they would have to do is bring out their new black character, and they would instantly get fame and fortune immediately because it's not racist. So they immediately lessen their laurels as, oh, America's racist. That's why I'm not getting the fame. It's not because my character sucks. It's because America is racist, and they won't let a black man with a black character succeed. And then Ripper comes along, and boom, $2.6 million. And they got really angry because that is all that. What does that leave? It just leaves that they suck. And they can't really handle that.
Yeah, I just imagine like people in DC and Marvel like just like having a giant meeting, because they have meetings about this kind of shit.
They said that there's like when someone is getting big in the sphere of anti-woke, they actually have meetings.
They have to.
Meetings.
Yeah, I mean they're having a meeting. Okay, if a dude is selling $2.8 million,
we're talking about it
for fucking one issue of a comic. They're talking about it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that meeting. Because, like they're just sitting there going, like, people still want to buy comic books. Like, why aren't we selling comic books?
Yeah, if they like ostriches, if they plucked their heads out of the ground for 1 minute, they could realize that every industry of comic books is pretty much doing well or overly succeeding, except for the American comic book industry.
Yeah,
the one's failing.
Well, them and everyone associated with them, like
exactly.
Marvel and like meaning like Disney, Marvel, and like any of that woke stuff. I mean, even Disney Star Wars is failing now. It's like, did you see Kenobi? I don't watch Disney Star Wars, but do you watch Kenobi?
I haven't seen Kenobi yet.
I heard it's fucking terrible.
I heard that I heard Princess Leia is exactly portrayed exactly how I thought she'd be portrayed.
Yeah.
In modern day Disney. The sassy, knows
everybody
everything.
Hates her.
Yeah, I would assume so, because she's portrayed exactly how I thought she'd be portrayed.
like a fucking shitty little girl that everyone's like, you know what? Just give her to the Dark Lord. Like just give it away. Like
one of those characters that kind of needs a smack in the face. Kind of like, you need to learn that you need to learn some humility.
Yeah, this is what's going on with me now, Literature Devil. Whenever I'm watching like Marvel movies and stuff like that, I'm like, I find myself more often than not rooting for the bad guy to kill everybody, and I'm like,
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
think that that's supposed to be the case. Like, I
I
thought
think
I was supposed to be rooting for the hero.
if you feel that way, because I feel the same way every single time. Like, can the bad guy just win and kill everybody? That'd be awesome. But if you get to that point, they have obviously done something wrong. Something is
They
obviously wrong here.
failed, right? Like, you're just like, dude, I think that that is not what you intended. Like that scene in have you seen the Multiverse of Madness? The
No,
Doctor
I stay away
Strange
from that
2?
one.
Okay.
I stay away
Well,
from that
there's a
one as well.
scene where Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange 2 where Wanda is like killing like a whole bunch of people, like that, like a bunch of the sorcerers or whatever, and she's just kind of like bombarding them with like, you know, magic and like whatever, and they're all just like trying to like hold this shield up and whatever. And I was just like sitting there going like, I really wish that she would just kill them all. Like, and I don't like her, but I really hope that she would just kill them all, and while she's at it, just destroy this entire universe, because we know you can, Wanda, and just reset it all, because like fuck Marvel at this point. And I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be feeling this way while I'm watching this. The same thing happened to me in Thor, like as I watched the new Thor, and like there's a scene where Zeus is like doing a bunch of stuff, and he like kills, well, not he doesn't kill, okay, because obviously this dude's not dead, but
Right.
like he like shoots the fucking lightning thing at his lightning weapon at Korg, or whatever the fuck that rock thing's name is, the one that Taika Waititi plays like himself. He's like,
Oh yeah.
"Hey there, that's me, I'm the rock dude, I'm so funny, but I don't have anything funny to say." That one, and like it like shatters, and I'm like, oh, maybe, like, for the love of God, maybe it's finally dead and I don't ever have to like hear it say another joke again. But then they turn that into a joke, and then he like takes his fucking face, because apparently that's the only part of him that like he needs to live, as his mouth.
This is mouth.
And he like fucking sticks it in the back of Valkyrie's head, and like they like tied it, and then so like he becomes like like, oh, it's just so fucking stupid, Literature Devil. Like I can't even explain to you how dumb that movie was. But yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was a tiny bit better than Multiverse of Madness, though. I know that's not saying much.
I think it's because like they write characters in which they get handed everything, and no one likes to see a person get handed everything and just have a great life. And this is that's not interesting.
Mhm.
Like, we just want something bad to happen to them, because that's how it goes. Like we want to see them struggle. We want to see them lose it all and then climb back
Change.
out.
Like what
Yeah.
happened with Kira? Like have an existential crisis. Like think like to yourself, is this really me? Like, am I really like, am I really wanting all Cardassians to die? Like, is that who I am now? Have I become like them? You want that kind of like passion and understanding, like in your characters, because that's what we are as humans. We're complicated, and we want to see that reflected in the characters that we watch. We don't want to see our skin colors reflected in the characters. We want to see our characters reflected in the
the
characters.
culture and everything.
Yeah.
So like even if like for example, you can have a bunch of Latinos in a room and they'll be watching the show, even if it's a white person, like a German or something like that, coming in and celebrating the culture of Latino culture, whatever it is, like Brazilian, Mexican, whatever, they would like it. They would like, because it's just their culture being celebrated, and people like to share their culture. They actually do.
They do, and that's an interesting thing that you're saying, because that's kind of like how it started with the like when a few years ago when they started with the whole cultural appropriation thing, and they were like, you can't dress up as this culture's like thing anymore for Halloween because that's cultural appropriation. And like, back in the day, it used to be considered like cultural appreciation when people did that, because it was like, oh, we like, you like that culture, so you're kind of like, giving homage to it or like whatever. And you just like it. So you're like absorbing that culture, and you're like, that it wasn't supposed to be an insult. It was supposed to be something fun and, something different, that you would engross yourself in that other culture. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And now it's like totally different.
And how flattering is it in America for someone not of your culture to choose your culture to emulate, like in Halloween or something like that? I mean, that's pretty
Yes.
flattering. You could have picked anything else, but you chose that one because if I wanted to dress up as like a leprechaun or something like that, not my culture, but it's because I like the culture. I mean, people like these culture. They dress up as these cultures. And like a KKK member would not dress up like an African gear. Like that would not happen because they don't like their culture. They don't like anyone else besides themselves. It takes a little bit of appreciation to want to dress up as I mean, of course, you can dress up as in mockery, but usually, if you dress yourself up as within staple images and symbols of a certain culture, it's out of respect and because you have some sort of liking to it. It's not because always out of hatred or something.
It's like what you said. If it's not done out of mocking, it's very complimentary. Like if somebody dressed up as a Persian, like an authentic Persian woman, you know what I mean, like for Halloween, and I ran into them, I'd be like, "Holy, like that is cool." Like I feel like that's pretty awesome that you chose my culture to represent, even though you don't
that's pretty cool.
Nothing about it. That's pretty cool.
I actually have a story that I was going to put in the video about the cultural appropriation, and I call it taco story, and it was told to me by my grandmother, and how they came to Mexico. They came from Mexico, and how back then all of the Mexicans would give their kids tacos to take to school. And of course, back then tacos were not like normal. It was different. So back then they were mocked for having them. The kids were mocked for having tacos, and the kids were like they were very embarrassed because they was different than everyone else. And they would. She's described how like my dad and everything would turn to hide how they're hiding tacos as they eat them. But that's kind of how they knew how to make food. So it was tradition. So we've gone from where the kids are just running around embarrassed and being mocked to now we have Taco Tuesday, and now everyone's eating tacos now.
Yeah,
so no one has to be embarrassed anymore. No one has to be eating their cultural meal out of fear and embarrassment. And that's what happens when you don't have this idea of you can only do this if you're from more of that culture. No. Once we integrated the integration of culture in this melting pot we call America or the West, that makes people safer because now people they understand, and not understanding equals fear. It kind of breeds fear, but understanding, that's acceptance. That's tolerance. I tolerate I accept you. I tolerate you. And food, most of all. Food
brings people together, man.
I would argue food is probably the most important and the most effective way to have someone from another culture embrace someone else from a different culture, because food brings people together. It actually does.
It really does. I mean, pizza brings everyone together.
And what is pizza? It's Italian. It's from the Italian culture. That's where we kind of have come from. Taco, that's from like Mexican culture. I mean, these foods are food, especially comes from the heart of the culture. Like it's representative of the culture. We know we have Chinese restaurants.
Yeah.
We all know what to expect when we walk into a Chinese restaurant. We all know what to expect when we go into like an Indian restaurant or a Korean restaurant, because culture, they're the food that people eat. It's the heart of the culture.
It really is.
We accept the meals. We taste these meals. We share our culture. We share each other's meals, and then we accept each other. And that is why cultural appropriation, this whole idea they brought along, is absolute nonsense and harmful.
And there was I forget what TV show it was. There was an episode I watched the other day. I forget what it was though. It's like, when you remember scenes or lines from the show, but you don't remember what it was. I watched this one, and it was about this very thing that we were talking about. And then like it was like this white guy, and he's like ordering pizza, and he's like, "Do Black people like pizza?" Because it was like this whole thing that happened with like Black people in the show. And then the other white guy's like, "I guess we'll find out." And then like, of course, it was The Office. It was The Office.
That makes sense.
Yeah, when Michael's like, he ruins like the the warehouse, and then he's like, "Do Black people like pizza?" And then he's like, he orders pizza, and then like they're all eating it, and he's like, they zoom in on his face because they're all like eating it and enjoying it, and he's like, "I guess they like it."
I guess they do.
Yeah, well, everybody does enjoy pizza. Well, unless there's pineapples on it,
then
that's
it's racist
a whole
or something.
war. Yeah, that's bigotry. Do you like pineapples on your pizza?
I don't think I ever tried pineapples on pizza before. I don't think
Okay,
so.
well then you can't really have an opinion because you haven't tried it. But when you do, and you like it, that's
When you
the
like
wrong
it.
opinion. Okay, so just so you know, there is a wrong opinion in
It
this,
could be wrong.
and the idea is if you like it. If you like it, then I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No. See, Josh, see your band. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
It's kind of like if you've ever played the South Park game, the Stick of Truth, and you can pick between 4 classes. You have warrior, wizard, and rogue, and then Jew. And you,
Jesus Christ.
and you pick Jew, Carbon will be like, oh, I guess it can't really be friends. But
Oh
the
my
Jewish class is
God.
actually pretty awesome. Like that's the first class I played. The first time I played the game. Like
I
it's
didn't
pretty cool.
even know that was a thing. Oh my God.
Also,
I
they
haven't
also
watched fucking South Park in years, and I gotta go back and like watch like so much.
they're still putting out stuff. They make fun of COVID. They made fun
I
of
know.
environmentalists. Like
I did watch the COVID special. Like I made a point in watching the COVID one because I was like, God, I hate this COVID world. Like I can't stand this shit. I need someone to make fun of it, and they did. So I was like, I'm watching this.
They made fun of everybody, which was great. They made fun of everyone who's like really, really against the vaccine. They made fun of everyone who really wants you to have the vaccine. They made fun of everybody.
They made fun of everyone. I loved it. Did you see the new Beavis and Butthead movie?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that was good. That was good stuff. My judge is still great.
I love every second of it. I especially love that part where they teach them about white privilege, and they're like,
Yes, that was my favorite
we're gonna change our lives forever. And it's like, excuse me, white privilege. I know you probably didn't know white privilege. And they kind of start cutting in line and getting like stealing cards. Like, all right, we have white privilege. You know that, and we don't have to worry about being arrested or anything like that. I mean, that's how they should react.
Favorite part. Well, that part and like like when they're learning about white privilege, like in the school, and like they had that one dude that was like the male feminist, and he cut off that black girl. He was like telling her what it means to be racist or whatever. And
he basically mansplained.
He did. Like he mansplained like what racism is to her. Like, what the fuck?
I really like I was just really elated. It was like they started saying, "Oh, we have white privilege. That means we can steal cars or something like that."
Yeah.
Like that okay. If their theory holds up that white privilege is a thing, then yeah, they're right. They wouldn't be arrested or anything like that. But
no,
they were. They went to jail.
Yeah. Then you like if white privilege was real, though, you could literally do everything that they did. Like they're like cutting in line and stuff. So sorry, we got white privilege.
If white privilege was real, we would all want it. I would
right?
like, yeah, give me some white privilege. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, like we would be envious. Like we'd be like, I'm not white privilege.
And we would probably organically notice it. Like, oh yeah, you're right. They do have privilege. No, but I've never seen it before. This doesn't make any sense. I've never seen white privilege before. I'm pretty sure this is made up.
Yeah. Josh, see, it's a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke, buddy. I don't care if you like pineapple on pizza. I don't like pineapple on pizza, but it's an ongoing joke in the community because Gary and Az like pineapple on pizza, and me and Mahler and several other smart people don't like pineapple on pizza. So it's just like a war. It's just like the candy corn wars too. Like do you know about the candy corn wars?
That there's between people who love it and that it tastes like nothing.
Yes, or it tastes like shit.
Yeah, they taste like nothing. It tastes like that. I do know.
I don't like them.
I do know for a fact that candy corn does objectively taste like nothing. Not even corn. You would think it tastes like corn just a little bit.
See, the vertical horizons are we are many. Yeah,
we are many.
No.
Expect us.
No, candy corn is terrible, and that's a whole other war that happens every Halloween. Like it's just one of those things. Am I saying you're not smart? What do you like pineapple on your pizza? I mean, you answered your own question if you said yes. Okay, let me go back to this article real quick so we can finish it.
Sure.
I just want to see what these Japanese people said about this show. I'm watching Netflix's Biohazard right now, but it's politically correct hazard as expected. It's such a waste to go with Wesker again when you're going with a new approach for the story. That last CG anime Resident Evil on Netflix was also pretty iffy. Ooh, that sucks that the anime wasn't good. all I have to say is that Netflix Resident Evil is honestly no fun at all. I just turned off my brain to watch it and still had enough. I started watching the Netflix Resident Evil show, and I've never felt that this isn't a feeling so hard because of the influences of political correctness. I had to stop watching, and I even like Wesker too. The new Netflix Resident Evil drama is such a waste of time. I dumped it already. I was checking it out, the Netflix Resident Evil drama, but I couldn't get over how egotistical the female protagonist was. I watched Netflix Resident Evil, but it was stressful. The producers just don't get it, do they? All we need for Resident Evil is to explode, run away, and escape. Okay, we don't need any of this human drama bullshit. They could have just made a live action Revelations, and it would have definitely been more fun. So, see, people just want like zombies get like chasing,
Yeah, I mean,
people,
it's
and
Resident Evil.
yeah, that's it. Like, there's not, it's not really much else you can. It's a fucking zombie show. Like, how you get that wrong? Like,
It's like we had the John Wick movie with no gunfights. Like, oh, we tried to stray away from the gunfights and focus on the character. Like, you're insane. Why do I give you any money whatsoever?
what? That's insane. Like,
that-
nobody would want that.
Yeah, no one would watch that. Okay, I go to John Wick for a little bit of story but mostly the gunfights. That's what I want to see.
Mostly the gunfights, yeah, definitely, and like the weird action and stuff like that.
I love all the John Wick movies.
I do too.
I like them a lot.
They're
I like 'em a lot.
fantastic. Those are the, like, just shut your brain off and just watch some freaking entertainment kind
As
of.
far as I know, they're also very humble. They outright know, like, yeah, we're not producing masterpieces here. We're just producing fun. They kind of they admit that they modeled the 2 and 3 after like video games. They're video games. They're video game
great.
movies.
They're fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's like, here's some new twists. Here's some new lore. Yeah, let's do this. Fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the guy from Resident Evil is in John Wick too. That's the funny part. The dude, I forget what his name is. He was in Fringe too. The black dude, the one that's on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah. He was Karan. Also, he was in Always Sunny, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He was back in the 70s. He was that. Yeah. You're like, we're strong black men. We don't take your kind of out here. He became like a Black Panther, but he was the guy who was always getting arrested. So like Frank Reynolds would go in and shoot him, and like, I got 3 years in prison for shooting him. He got 7. Reggie got 7. Why'd he get more? He's black.
Oh my god.
It's like, why did that happen? Those were the days.
Oh my god, that's funny. Oh man, I miss the days when like you could make fun of stuff like that. That's
Like,
man.
it happened several times. So the first time it happened, it was like Frank's brother who attacked him, and the Frank's brother got like 3 years, and Reggie got like 5. Like, why did he get more than you? Attacked him? He is black.
Wait, what show was this?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I
was actually
watched
in that.
all of them, and I don't remember that at all.
It was one of the early episodes. I forgot which one it was. It was
okay.
like Frank's brother comes in. He never comes back. Like Frank's brother never comes back again. But like Frank's brother comes in and goes, you lying evil guy. Like, they're fighting over Dynasty, who is this other woman from the 70s that they both fell in love with.
Oh my god, I remember that. Oh my god, yes, that was so funny. Oh man, that show is another good one. That's the only other show that's like still pretty fucking like not woke. And
they kind of went that way a little bit because like they said they made Mac not admit that he's gay, which kind of just makes it not funny anymore. Because it wasn't funny that he was gay. It's funny that he was so adamant that he wasn't. And then when they took that away, it was like, okay, well, it's not funny anymore then. Like,
but it's still kind of funny because he's still kind of like, now he's trying to figure out, like, he's still Mac, but he's also trying to figure out what it means to be gay. And that's funny.
And then Mac is funny because he's basically just what's his name? Steven Seagal. He's Steven Seagal. That I went to this whole thing about learning about Steven Seagal and his personality. He's just Mac. That's just Mac.
I didn't know that.
Seagal.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because Mac, if you learn all the stuff about Steven Seagal, like how, like, oh yeah, I can't be knocked out, and then somebody puts him in a headlock and knocks him out, and he poops himself. And
have you seen the new season of It's Always Sunny?
I don't think so. I stopped there for a while. I haven't seen the newest stuff.
They did a really good episode in the new season. I think it's called Bring Back the Dong. And it's about like they all go to like this film focus group, where they're watching like their favorite like their favorite movie that they all love, and their favorite movie is about like it's kind of like Indiana Jones, like a rip off of Indiana Jones, like a spoof of it. And in their like world, in every one of those movies, the Indiana Jones character shows off as like somehow there's like
Or
a
hangs
frontal
dong.
shot, like there's like a dong shot. And
That's
so
Undergun.
yeah. And so in the new one, they're all like sitting there, they're watching this. They're like in a focus group watching this new release of this movie it's not going to come out yet. So just so they can get like, what they think of it. And they're watching it and there's no dong. And like the movie has changed. And it's like the guy's giving like he's like literally passing the torch on to like a female character, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like they're all getting so fucking pissed. Yeah. And they're like, bring back the dong, bring back the dong. It's just like the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I want to see the dong. Come on. She's never dong.
And it was so funny because they were like literally making fun of like the new Indiana Jones and how it's like
everyone's got to be a woman now.
Yeah, because like we've heard that it's gonna be a woman. We know it's gonna be a woman. So like they were just making fun of that, and it's a really good episode. If you can get a hold of that, just watch that one episode. It's so fucking.
I'll check it out. I mean, because I do like Always Sunny. I really like that show.
It's great. It's still good. I think it's still really good.
Anyway, I started blasting, bang, bang. But also, I'm pretty sure D was upset about that too. Was Deandra upset about it? Because I'm pretty sure that's kind of what happens. That's why, like, no,
I think so.
They keep doing this. We're like, oh, we're gonna make this a girl power movie, and we're gonna place the handsome, charismatic male protagonist with these really unlikable women, and then they're weirded out that no one goes to watch it, not even women. It's because I wonder why. I wonder why women. Women kind of like men. They kind of like to see these strong, chiseled dudes.
Yeah, they said the same thing in like in this episode, and they were like, "But we were gearing it towards women," and she's like, "Well, you know what women like? We like dongs." It was so fucking funny.
Exactly, like women like dongs. They like men.
We like men.
It's kind of like it might be weird now to think about it, but men like women parts. They like to look at them. And the same thing happens with women. They like to look at men parts. And so when you take away all the masculine male parts and everything, it's like, well, why would they keep going? I mean, there's a reason why Jason Momoa was really successful with women. When he played Aquaman.
Yeah.
I watched it. Wasn't because of his acting skills.
I didn't care about Aquaman. I was like, who cares? Like some dude that...
You're for the abs.
Kind of like a merman, I guess. I don't know. I'm just here for... whatever is going on.
He didn't hang dong, but
yeah, no. I mean, come on now. It is a movie for kids, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean, you probably won't.
No,
won't make any shenanigans about it. But like, yeah.
But I mean, like a lot of people made a big deal out of the new Thor movie because there's like an ass shot in the new Thor movie. And personally, like even though I enjoyed that scene, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, yeah, of course, like. Chris Hemsworth has a nice body. Like, I like looking at that. But at the same time, it's like there's only so much a really nice ass and a really nice body can go, like when it comes to like having a really shitty story. And you're like, wow, I could just go watch porn at home if I want to just look at bodies. Like, like if I'm just looking at flesh for the sake of looking at flesh, I mean, there's just porn. There's all sorts of stuff that you can go look at. And like in a Marvel movie, I mean, I would prefer to have Thor actually be, I don't know, Thor and like, fucking kick ass and not be a joke.
And if they're gonna have Thor naked, you have to have him like kill a monster barehanded or something.
Right.
Like Beowulf.
That's what, right? Like, like that scene in Captain America, I think it was Captain America, where he's like ripping that fucking, tree trunk in half.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
There's not one dry panty in that entire theater. I'm telling you right now, because that's the kind of stuff though. But it goes hand in hand with his character development. So it wasn't just the fact that like he was so hot. He was hot and he was caring and he was Captain America and he was like a superhero and he was doing all the right things. It wasn't just the physical aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would go over as well if it was a woman. Like if it was like, oh look, Captain America's a woman now, and now she's pretty strong. Look, she's you. I'm pretty sure like the women would be like, yeah, but bring back the real guy.
Well, they kind of did that in What If because they made like Peggy
Yeah,
Carter, like
Peggy Carter.
yeah, and then they made her like look like a man, and that's the other thing too. It's like, oh, let's just make all the women look like men.
Then why even have them be women?
I
Why
don't
even do
even
that?
know.
Women like dogs.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Okay. But we're still on the topic of Netflix adaptations because here's the list of what we can expect to be completely devastated. We have so these are the things that's going on right now. We got
They're-
Pokemon.
They're really tempting fate by messing with One Piece. I mean,
I
what One Piece fans are like as passionate as Tolkien fans.
Oh yes. I mean, same with like really all anime, but One Piece especially. But I mean, the same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho. Like a lot of people really love that show. I
That's
mean,
the one I'm most interested in because I love Yu Yu Hakusho.
you do? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I have to watch that. Somebody actually sent me a link to like all the episodes on YouTube, and I was like, oh,
It's like the better version of Dragon Ball Z.
oh, good to know.
The thinking man Dragon Ball Z. Because
Oh my
Dragon Ball Z is like,
gosh.
he's powerful now. Oh, this guy's more powerful now. This guy's more powerful. Yu Yu Hakusho is like, okay, this guy has a weird, unique power. How do I overcome this power? And how do I just outsmart this guy? It's kind of like you have to think and use your powers in a new way in order to defeat this new guy. Whereas Dragon
Right.
Ball Z is more like, I made a new form. I'm more powerful now. Well, I made a new form. Oh yeah, well, I made an even better form. And that's kind of how it goes with the Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yes, yes, I'm very familiar with Dragon Ball Z. I was never a huge fan. I'm sorry, Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash is gonna never invite me on if he finds out, but because he like loves Dragon Ball Z. But I was never a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. I like the first season. Like I liked Dragon Ball because
Dragon Ball's great.
I had such a cool story. I liked Bulma. I liked all the characters. And then all of a sudden it just became this insane story about just this battle. And it was like literally 20 minutes of like, like, and I was like, I'm done. Like I'm
Shot
out
for
on
10
this.
episodes.
Yeah. Like I was just like, I'm out on this one.
Dragon Ball, that's an amazing series. I really like
like
Dragon
that.
Ball.
Me too.
That's good. That's a good one. That's a good series. And it's like everyone's funny. Everything's wacky. It's kind of like this weird world that at least seems kind of ancient and present day and futuristic all at the same time.
Mhm.
And Bulma's hilarious because
I
like
love Bulma. She was my favorite.
she's actually the mover. She's basically the protagonist. Like Goku really isn't the protagonist. He's kind of the guy who kind of comes along, kind of just comes along for the ride. Bulma is the one that really drives the journey.
Right.
And she has a really, really girlish sort of motivation. Like she wants to do this amazing thing. She wants to gather these legendary Dragon Balls so she
Mhm.
can wish for a boyfriend. And it's like, wow, that's a really good balancing of the epic journey and a really girl kind of motivation because she's like 16. So
Yeah.
that fits with her mentality. Like she really wants a boyfriend.
Yeah, that was like literally me when I was a teenager. So that's why I was like, I really identified with Bulma, like in a lot of ways.
So yeah, her motivation makes sense. Like Bulma makes sense as a character.
Her motivations made sense. Like that's what I identified with. I wasn't like, well, I don't have like blue hair and like I'm not Japanese, so I don't see myself in her, but like whatever. No, but
She
like
used to be
her
a literary
struggle was
name.
real. Like I was like, yeah, I feel you, girl.
Yeah, and Bulma's awesome. I really like her character. Yeah, she's kind of obnoxious and things like that, but like
Mhm.
it's kind of her character. It's not done. She's not a one note character. She has 3 dimensions to her. Like she will do one thing, she'll scream and yell, but then she like will save Goku or really care about
Right.
someone else.
But like her being obnoxious too is also about being 16. And
Yeah,
16-year-old girls are very fucking obnoxious. I know
absolutely.
because I was one.
Also, I
But
think
yeah,
Toriyama really likes that kind of girl.
yeah.
He makes a lot like Chi-Chi's the same way.
Ah,
Let's see, I think Android
like
18.
that archetype, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Android 18 is kind of that way. She's more reserved. But yeah, so
Ah.
Chi-Chi and Bulma are kind of this. They have the same kind of like the same kind of. And then Videl, same kind of personality. I think Akira Toriyama just likes that kind of personality.
That makes sense. But yeah, so Netflix is apparently talking about live action Pokemon, which is really weird because like the live action Pokemon, like the Detective Pikachu, actually did really well.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
With Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds. I actually liked it. I thought I wouldn't. I thought it was gonna be really bad, but it was really cute. Like they did the Pokemon really, really well.
It's like they made it for the people who wanted to watch it or something.
Yeah, exactly. But they made but it was a big budget movie. I mean, I don't know how much budget like this live action Pokemon is going to have, but apparently that's what they want to do. So the series was announced in 2021, but very little information is available about its development. And the development of Pokemon series poses an interesting challenge for Netflix, which must simultaneously please its young audience and the now adult millennials that loved in their childhood. Blah blah blah. So we don't know much about it. So, but that's the plan. Then this One Piece, which we're going to talk about in a second, because there's like casting and stuff like that I have pulled up. Then there's this, which is not necessarily an anime. It's not an anime because it's not made in Japan, but
Right.
it is still one of the best animated TV series of our time. I feel like I absolutely love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I fucking hate the live action remake that M. Night Shyamalan made. God, I hate that movie so much. I boycotted that guy after that movie. So this is also very interesting, and we'll talk about this in a minute too, because I have another article pulled up about that. Then there's this, which I didn't even know. Sword Art Online is going to be getting a live action remake, or won't be a remake, would it? Live action.
Yeah, I think this is live action.
guess a
Live action rendition.
Rendition, yeah, live action rendition. Which is kind of crazy because why? Like, I don't know why you would need to make a live action adaptation of Sword Art Online. It's just, there are things in anime that I don't think you'll ever be able to capture in a live action setting. And I think that, for example, that's one of the things that they're going to face a lot of challenge with regards to One Piece. Because how do you know how you going to do something like this? One Piece is a really weird show, like in terms of animation wise.
Very high energy.
Yeah.
It's like stretchy arms, and everyone's wacky. It's a really crazy show, but I like the show. I've seen some of it, but it's a really fun show.
YuYu Hakusho is the other one.
Yeah, YuYu Hakusho. Now this is the one they're going to probably mess up a lot with, because there are the two characters, Kurama and Hiei. They are they're really cool characters, like really, really awesome. Like Kurama, kind of a nice, sort of more laid back kind of guy. He's a smart guy of the group, but he's also the pretty boy. He's like
I haven't seen it, so you have to explain who that is. Is that the main character?
He's the pink one.
Oh, the pink one. Okay.
The main character is Yusuke, and he's a punk, and then Kuwabara is like the other, like his rival at the beginning. But he's like, but Kuwabara is like, it's kind of like in Dragon Ball Z, Goku's like the more honorable one, and Vegeta is like the more evil one. It's kind of flipped here. Yusuke is kind of the more evil one, and Kuwabara is like the icon of masculinity.
Is that the guy with the red hair, like this guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Like he is an icon for masculinity. Because there's one part where, so the beginning was Yusuke dies. The beginning is Yusuke dies. His spirit goes to spirit world, and he just like spends the first few episodes as a ghost, trying to get his body back and everything. Because he's like, it's like Princess Bride. He's only mostly dead, this sort of thing. So he's trying to help out Kuwabara, I guess, a little bit, because in order to get he needs energy from either one of two people: his girlfriend, which is Keiko, or his close rival, which is Kuwabara. There's one part, like this really awesome part with Kuwabara, where you think he's just some idiot, some dumb guy who just wants to fight. But then what happens is his friends get in trouble. So there's like an evil teacher there who wants to expel all the punks. So he goes, okay, so you guys have to really study, and you have to not get in a fight. Kuwabara has to not get in a fight for a week, or we'll report your friend, and he'll get fired from his job. And his friend really needs that job because his family's poor. And if he gets fired from it, because the thing is, you're not in Japan, you're not supposed to have a job and go to school. You need special permission to do that. And it's real. Looked it up. So the teacher was like, okay, Kuwabara, if you get another fight this week, we will we'll cancel your friend's special permission. He won't be able to work anymore, and which pays his doom his family. And Kuwabara's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got this. And Kuwabara gets a lot of fights. Like he has a lot of enemies. So, but he also has honor. So when he encounters like these group of guys who want to beat him up, because he gets in a lot of fights. One, he doesn't fight back. But two, he has honor, so he can't run away. So he's like, okay, guys, just beat me up. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to fight back. So do what you want. So every day he comes back full of bruises, like all these bruises and wounds and injuries. And his face is all like puffed up and swollen. And like, what happened, bro? It's like, yeah, nothing. I fell out some stairs. But basically, he would run to all these guys who want to beat him up, and he would not fight back, but he wouldn't run away either. So, because he wants to help out his friend, but his masculine honor would not allow him to run away from a fight. That's Kuwabara. And there's a part where like there's these demon kings, the four saint beasts, are threatening the world by turning everyone sane with a wave of insects. You have to watch the show.
I'm going to.
But so they get Yusuke to go down there. Yusuke's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. God, you really want me to go down there and fight all these bad guys? I have things to do. And then Kuwabara was like, come on, let me at him. He voluntarily goes to go fight demons, no questions asked. Like Kuwabara is like way more honorable, way cooler of a guy than Yusuke is.
Do you think they're gonna do that right in the Netflix adaptation?
My guess is no. My guess is probably just going to take all of Kuwabara's silly side and just keep it that and make him a silly, stupid guy. And also, I'm pretty sure they're going to make Kurama and Hiei gay. Because they were gay originally, not on the show, but the creator was created them as a couple, and then he decided not to make them a couple in the actual story. But you can kind of tell there's lingering elements of it because Hiei is like the token evil character of the group, but he just always simps for Kurama at every opportunity he gets. Like, yeah, you did good, but it would have gone faster if Kurama did it.
Oh, that's interesting. But see, I like stuff like that though. If like the original creator was like, oh, okay, like I want this character to be gay, but like didn't do it for whatever reason, and then decides like I want to try that out. Like I don't mind that. Like I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
It kind of fits, but
yeah, as long as it fits, like I'm fine with it. Like fine. But like when they made Faye gay for no reason, I was like, what are you doing? Like, why? She's not like, why? No. But okay, so this is the cast. So we got this Netflix has revealed that exciting news about this adaptation of YuYu Hakusho, and this is the cast that they've announced so far. So obviously it's going to be very Asian centric. Like it's not going to be like Cowboy Bebop in the sense of
like
like
Japanese studios doing it.
Right.
Japanese studios, they do like live action stuff too. Like they did the Death Note live action, which was actually pretty good. They don't capture the essence of the anime, but it actually is closer to anything Netflix has done.
Wait, is that you're not talking about the live action Netflix version, are you?
Not the Netflix. The Japanese the country made their own live action version of Death Note, which is actually pretty good. And then Netflix made their own, which pales in comparison. But in the live action Japanese version, Light loses and L wins, which I do like. But L wins by putting his own name in the Death Note. So L wins, but he still dies. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I like it.
That's cool. See, I like the Rurouni Kenshin live action ones from Japan. I've only seen like the first two though. I haven't seen the last one. I think it was the third one I haven't seen.
You see the last one? Oh, not the beginning ones, but there's a one that they did that the anime didn't do, which is the Inishi arc, which is like the most personal to Kenshin, the darkest arc that he wrote. I mean, it's really dark. But
really, they did that as a movie.
They did, yeah. It's in the movie. It's the last one. They didn't do the whole thing, but they did close enough, and I was really impressed because they didn't do that in the anime. And but the anime, I really love the anime.
Me too.
Rurouni Kenshin is how you do the Superman story. He doesn't have to be Superman, but like he's moral, he's just, he's caring. Like
apparently they're remaking it.
Oh, what the anime?
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate because they actually did remake the Kyoto arc and sucked really bad.
I heard the Kyoto arc sucked, and I didn't watch it because I heard it sucked so bad. So I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that because I I had just come off watching like the 90s Rurouni Kenshin, and I was like so in love with it.
It's really good.
I don't know if I want to watch the other one.
Rurouni Kenshin is the only series I have the physical manga of. Like, it's really
that's
good.
Cool. I've never read the manga. I've only watched the series, and I thought the series was absolutely magnificent. It's like it was so good. I mean, there's so much good in that.
Because Kenshin is also the peak of what women want. Like he's really strong and protective, but he's also caring and good with kids.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
and
and has a good sense of humor.
he can cook. He's humble. Like he's a perfect guy.
He is the perfect man. It's true. And he's got that sexy scar. I mean,
Yeah,
for
he's
some
wounded.
reason, women are into scars. At least I know I am.
On the
It's like,
scar, okay, so this, I think the last movie they made, the one where it goes over his past, it shows you how he got the scars.
oh, cool.
There's a story behind those scars, that the cross-shaped scar. They also did that in anime version, which is actually really
do
good.
that in the anime version.
It's called
I
Samurai
remember.
X. It's really good, but they also do it in the live action as well.
Oh, that's cool. See, I should watch those ones. I think I've only watched one, if I don't know if I'm mistaken, and I really liked it. I was like, hey, this is actually pretty decent, because like as far as like live actions go, you know, like because it's never going to be the anime. I feel like even the live action ones, like even the ones that Japan do, like it's never quite the anime, really. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the
But
live
okay,
action
so
probably
this
go up,
guy
yeah.
right here is supposed to be so
Oh,
this
that's
is
Kuwabara? Okay.
yeah.
Doesn't look
So this
anything
is
like Kuwabara.
Kuwabara.
Fantastic. You should at least give him red hair. They should at least get red hair.
Wait, I thought this guy was gonna be the red hair guy.
Well, Kuwabara has orange hair. Kurama has like rose color, because Kurama is also like part fox, and, and he uses like a rose to fight. Like he's that guy.
Oh, okay.
But he's really powerful. Like he chop you up with his rose thorns.
Wait, this article doesn't tell us any more about the cast. Wait, hold on. Let me go to this Twitter thread that Netflix made. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay, hold on. We're here.
Oh, there's a really funny fight in Yu Yu Hakusho where they're fighting a woman. Like the only woman they fight is and they figure out that it's a man. And he's like, "You're like, why are you beating her so hard?" Like Kuwabara is like really honorable. It's like, you don't hit girls, you're a meshy. And he goes, "Don't worry, she's not a girl. I've checked. She has balls and a dick." So, well, he says that the family jewels are intact, and it's like, okay, so that's fine. That because the woman has a balls and a dick. So you can beat her as hard as you want.
Oh my god, somebody was telling me about this scene earlier too. Like that sounds funny.
It was hilarious, like especially in today's context.
Yeah, in today's context, that's really, really funny.
Also, I do like the fact that Yu Yu Hakusho has the golden rule: women don't fight; they cheer from the sidelines and they support the men. And the men fight, except for Genkai. Genkai is awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Genkai is like the Yusuke's mentor. She's like an old lady, but she could just kill anyone. She's awesome.
What? The Kenshin live action movies have 5 movies now?
Yeah, it's 5 movies.
Man, I have way too much to catch up on. I thought it was 3.
I think the first one is Takeda, and then the second one is like maybe getting into, I forgot. I watched them all, but I know one of them is the beginning, one of them is Inishi, and then the other 3 are there.
Wow. Liberty Prime, thank you so much for the $2. Says Avatar: The Last Gender Bender. Oh my god, you know what's going to happen. Wow.
Jesus. I'm surprised Aang is still a guy.
I know. Well, you know what? We're gonna get to that. Your Barmy, thank you so much for the $10. And you didn't say anything, but thank you very much. Vertical Horizon say Hack Science is better than Log Horizon, or Hack and Log Horizon is better than Sword Art Online.
Dot Hack is good.
I like Dot Hack a lot. That was my entrance into that genre of anime, of like the online stuff.
Right.
And I really liked it at the time. I thought
it was unique back then. Not everyone has
amazing.
to have like we're trapped in a video game. Oh no.
Yeah, totally. And back then, like I was actually playing video games, so I was like, this is trippy. Like, this is what it would be like.
Yeah, I really like the characters and everything. Like how they talk about their own lives, and it's kind of a mystery of who they were and stuff like that.
Right.
And how they bring their real life into the philosophy of the character. It's really cool stuff.
I like that story a lot. So yeah, this is it. I mean, this may not necessarily be like so bad if it's being made by a Japanese studio, but then again,
yeah, there is hope if it's made, but maybe they learned their lesson. Like, our people obviously can't handle stuff like this, so we'll just hire a Japanese studio.
Right. So maybe there's hope. I don't know. I mean, I feel like when Netflix really fails is when they try to like really try like to gear this show towards a Western audience, and then they're like, let's cast all these weird people, like, you know, that look white or whatever.
Let's
And
put a lot of dick jokes in there. That'll
yeah. I think that's when they really fail, or when they do stuff like this. And let me bring this one up because this is worrisome, because this is exactly what happened with the live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, where they had the creators working on the show and then they decided to not anymore because of creative differences. So in this show, this is the cast. You got little Avatar, little Aang here. I think that's, what's her name, Katara or whatever her name was.
This is gonna be weird.
I'm pretty sure that's the brother.
Guy? That's Sokka.
Who is this dude?
I assume that's Zuko. I think that's Zuko.
I guess that's Zuko.
Yeah, they should have just gotten Tommy Bosco. That'd be kind of cool. What's his name? Tommy? I forgot his first name. Bosco, the guy who voices Zuko in the show. They should just gotten him.
That guy would have been cool.
He plays Rufio in the Peter Pan movie. I mean, he's acted before, so.
Oh, yeah. So this guy is Zuko. There he is. But I'm guessing they're making Zuko, or they're making the Fire Nation like Asian, because they they casted this dude as Uncle Iroh, and this is Commander Zhao. So I'm guessing they're
kind
doing.
Of looks like an Uncle Iroh. Like I can see Uncle Iroh.
I think this is a great cast. Like, this is the dude from Kim's Convenience. It's a Canadian show, and I think this is a great cast for Uncle Iroh. Actually, he does really look like him. But yeah, so I think they're doing that in terms of like, you know, the separation, because these guys, I mean, they definitely look different. Like the Fire Nation, I'm guessing, is going to be Asians, and then like I don't know what's going on with this, but all right. I mean, Katara looks fucking totally different. Then I never imagined her like that. I mean, I always thought she was kind of more like.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna the weirdos are gonna be angry because she's very light skinned, and they don't like that.
She's very light skinned, and I feel like that's actually one of the times where I'm kind of surprised. Like I thought that she was kind of like a native, like, you know, like in like an Inuit tribe, native, you know, very dark skinned. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me, but whatever. Like, I mean, okay, let's see what happens. But what's really, really alarming about this show is this part here: who's involved, and the fact that the main creators are not involved is what is the problem. Okay, so right here, why did the original creators leave? Returning back to the original creators now. As you may recall, back in August 2020, we learned that the two original creators had departed the project over what is going to be creative differences. In an open letter, Michael Dante Demetrio penned his thoughts on their departure from the project. This is never a good sign, because this is exactly what happened with the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, and the creator was involved, gave them notes, and they were like, nah, like, we good. We're gonna make it better.
I think I remember Watanabe going, "I'm just praying it's good," because of he basically lost control. And they're like, "No, we don't want to make it good. We want to make it quirky and funny and Seinfeld. We want to make it Seinfeld. You want to ruin your show, Watanabe. Stop giving us good ideas."
Yeah, the same thing happened with these guys, and I think they told them, like, we kind of want like Riverdale, like Avatar Riverdale or something like that. And they were like, no, like, stop. Because they wanted like teenager. Like,
and there are other stories with teenagers besides that one. Okay. I mean, there's a little show, I don't know if you heard of it, called Avatar Last Airbender. They did it pretty good.
No, Toph. I wouldn't think that Toph would be in season 1. Toph would be probably in season 2, or maybe even season 3, depending on how the pacing of the show.
They're gonna make Toph lesbian. I could already sense it. They're gonna make Toph lesbian, even though she has a crush on Sokka. There's no way they can have a girl whose name is almost literally Tough be not lesbian.
She's already blind. Isn't that enough representation? God damn it. Okay.
Also, she, like in the show, she was making fun of herself for being blind. Like, she was making blind jokes and stuff. I'm pretty sure here it's going to be nonstop whinging about, oh, I'm oppressed because I'm blind and my family's evil.
She made so much fun of herself for being blind.
Yeah, I remember that one time when they're looking for something in the desert, and she's like, "Look, it's over there," and everyone looked and like, "Hello, blind."
Yeah, and Toph is like, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's what it would sound like when somebody who can see actually sees it.
Yeah.
Toph was great, but now I'm pretty sure I'm like, "Oh yeah, my life was so tough. I'm blind. I can't."
Oh my God.
My parents, the Bay Fong family, voted for Trump. Like it's awful. Like.
In the words of Ripa, dead on arrival. I agree about this show. I don't know about the YuYu Hakusho one. Again, I can't say, but this show, there's all sorts of wrong so far. So this is what the creators had to say. When Brian and I signed on to the project in 2018, we were hired as executive producers and showrunners. In a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said that it was committed to honoring our vision for this retelling and to supporting us on creating the series. And we expressed how excited we were for the opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we had hoped. Brian Conziecto also posted a statement on Instagram. Here are some of the key highlights. And he said, though I got to work with some great individuals, both Netflix's side and our own small development team, the general handling of the project created what I felt was a negative and unsupportive environment. Since the departure, though, the duo has announced that they would be helming a new animated projects over at Paramount Plus with the Avatar universe under the new studios called Avatar Studios. So they've made a new studio. And since the departing creators, more criticism of Netflix's vision for the series has materialized. As Winter's Coming reports, Bradley Baker, who voiced Appa and Momo, didn't mince his words about Netflix's vision to essentially recreate the Nickelodeon series, saying, I just don't know how you fulfill that any better than this show did. I'm open to whatever they do with the live action series, which I know nothing about, but it's like, well, how do you do this better than the way that it was rendered on the show? I don't know how you do that. I hope you can. And I mean, very well put. Like, why do you fuck with perfection? I don't understand. And they keep doing it over and over again.
I can't wait for them to have like a scene where Sokka and Aang bribe Qatar with her nudes. And Qatar makes a Twitch channel or something. Like, I can't wait for that to happen.
It's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna have their own weird cell phones or like their own weird version of like TikTok or something like that. Like, Aang, we need to tell the world that you're the Avatar. Let's make a TikTok video, and it's gonna be like,
isn't this so cool? Isn't this awesome? Look, they're literally you in the audience. They're literally you right now.
They're gonna ruin my childhood.
They keep ruining this stuff. It's gonna be horrible. I'm pretty sure they have no idea what they should watch the show. Mm-hmm. They should try watching the show. I remember the Halo people were like, no, we purposely didn't watch anything or play any of the games, and then we made the Halo show, and we're proud of that. So they also didn't the creators leave when Korra was made? Legend of Korra. I could have sworn I heard that they also left when Korra was
that was already made.
The Korra was already made with that.
Yeah, like when this was announced, that was already finished. Like,
I mean, when didn't the original creators didn't they leave when Korra was in development?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was already finished because I remember I'd already watched it and it was already done when they announced the live action. So,
I mean, without the live action, I mean, when they were making Korra, were the original creators involved or had they left already?
Yes. Oh no, they were involved. Yeah.
I mean, they left Korra. I'm not really sure.
Korra was weird. Like, I didn't know how to feel about it. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is eh," and then I was like, "Oh, this is good," and then I was like, "Eh," and then now I'm like, I still like it. Like, I mean, I didn't mind the ending. Some people really don't like that she turned lesbian with that other woman.
Didn't they turn lesbian in the comics?
Yeah. But she was like, I always felt like she kind of was a lesbian. And
she was a whore. I remember that. Like, she was like dating everyone at once. essentially.
I felt like she was like kind of like bi, so I was okay with it. Like
She
the
was a D&D
decisions.
character. Like, she was just, I seduce Bolin. I seduce his brother. I seduce the girl Asami.
Oh my god,
She's a D&D character.
that's hilarious. Korra broke the Avatar universe. She did. I mean, she kind of like, well, in a way, she did it
I
because
mean,
now
is there a reason why Korra isn't getting the live action version?
well, but well, she would have to come after because she's the next Avatar, so she would have to come
Yeah.
after this dude's dead.
After Aang
which-
dies.
Yeah.
No one
Spoiler
wants to see dead
alert.
Aang. I want Aang to be Amon. That'd be kind of cool. Like, how do you explain that? I mean, who cares? They already broke everything anyway. They erased the Avatar line somehow. I heard, but I mean, just to have Aang be Amon, that would make sense. It'd be kind of cool, like evil Aang. That'd be interesting.
No,
Yeah, evil Aang.
no.
And he'll say, "It's time for the Avatar to die," or something like that. It's
Oh
time for the
my
Avatars to end, and he cut himself off from the forest or something.
Dude, no. That would be like my nightmare. No, we need like good guys and bad guys. You know what though? Speaking of like complicated bad guys, what an amazing character Zuko was, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like
He has his own arc and everything.
they made like that character is what all of Disney and Marvel's trying to do with like all their evil characters. Like they're like, we can make them complicated. And it's just like no, some people are just evil. Like I like having like evil characters and just be evil. But if you're gonna do a complicated character, Zuko is your model. Like that's how you do it.
Yeah, I think he was the poster boy, became the poster boy of the anti-villain trope. Because he was a good guy who did villainous things, where anti-hero is kind of a bad guy who does heroic things.
Yeah.
So he was a bad guy who did he was a good guy who did bad guy things. Like he would be honorable and he would fight one-on-one and he would rescue his own men. Like he didn't see his men as lackeys. He saw them. He gave value to his men, but then he would go down and burn down a village or something like that. So
right. He was very
honor.
complicated. I really liked him.
Yeah.
I love that episode where he's
damaged.
like, I think one of my favorite lines in that show was when like Uncle Iroh and him were like talking or whatever, and he's like having like this like duality, and he's just like going crazy, and he's like telling Uncle Iroh what's going on. Uncle Iroh's like, sit down and have some tea with me, Zuko, and he's just like, I'm sick of tea, Uncle. I'm sick of tea. And he's like, sick of
Sit down
tea.
and have some tea with me.
Yeah. And he's like, sick of tea. That's like saying you're sick of breathing. I was like, oh my god.
This isn't tea. It's just leaf juice, Uncle. That's what tea is.
I love his obsession with tea. It was so good.
Mako was great. Like it's really weird to see him go from playing Iroh to go and then see him play Aku from Samurai Jack. It's really cool. Like he can play a good villain and a good bad guy.
Yes, that's pretty cool. I like when actors can like that range. I love that.
By the way, Mako was also in Frasier. There was an episode where the guy comes in and tasks them to write a book together, and they can't write it, so they have to lock themselves in a hotel and they just fight the entire time.
I don't remember that
But
one.
the guy who commissions them is Mako. It's like a Japanese guy who commissions them, and that's Mako, the guy who voices Iroh. He's in Frasier. I was like, hey, it's Frasier.
That's so funny.
I think he's also in Columbo, which is strange. And also, Mr. Miyagi is also in Columbo. Like, because Mr. Miyagi is in Columbo for like 5 seconds. He opens the door and he's like, "Oh, hello, come in."
Oh, that's cool.
So Miyagi and Mako are both in Columbo.
Mako is so good. I miss him. Oh, boy, did he
Mako's
pass
gold.
away?
Oh yeah, he did.
That's sad.
He did before the Tales of Bossing Say are like his last episode, I think. Because he died. If you watch Tales of Bossing Say and then watch the end of Iroh, where he's singing "Leaves on the Vine," they have like a tribute to Mako because he died.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, then we kind of figured that out and we were talking about that. But also right now we're talking about the Avatar live action. And that is going to be a shit show. I think it will be.
They can't
terrible.
do it again because and if you're going to write Avatar, you have to make the male characters competent, and you have to make everyone written as a human. You can't have any agendas in there because Avatar would not work if there was agendas in there, because it
No.
also handled war pretty well. Like there was also like Fire Nation people who were not that bad, like Zhang Zhang,
Mhm.
and there was ideas of the villains being complicated, like Zuko. Even Azula was more complicated than she first appeared to be, and then you got Ty Lee and Mai, who are not just evil. They had their own agendas and their own characterizations. You got Iroh. I mean, Ozai is probably the closest you get to two-dimensionally evil.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Ozai and Azula, because I felt like Azula wasn't as complicated as, I mean, there's like, she definitely wasn't as complicated as Zuko. She was like just a psycho.
She was more two-dimensional in the beginning, and then towards the end, she got a little more complex. But I want to point out that at the beginning they immediately show her actually practicing. She's not just this good. She's not just awesome at things. She actually practices. Yeah, she's a prodigy, but prodigy doesn't mean you're just naturally good at everything. It means you can grasp things quicker, and you can probably like figure things out better than someone else can. So that's why she's powerful. But she practices, and the first time you see her, she's kneeling in front of her dad. That's kind of the end of season 1 or something like that. Then the next time you see her, she's practicing in front of those 2 old ladies, and then she's doing like I think a kata or something like that. And then she finishes, and one hair is out of place, and like one hair is out of place. Like she's not perfect.
I remember that.
She's really good, but she's not perfect. Like she still has ways to go.
And she got mad.
And she got angry because she's a perfectionist.
Got really mad, yeah.
So today, I mean, the woke people were like this. Oh, she's a prodigy and she's a woman, so she's like good at everything naturally. That's not how it works. Even in Avatar: The Seven, that's not how it works. She's good because she practices.
Yeah, she went from evil to evil and paranoid. Yeah, she went like crazy in the end. She like lost her mind. That was pretty good though. So this is Netflix live action One Piece. Again, this is a bit worrisome because I already see white people. I know that sounds awful. But I was like, oh no. Like when they market it towards the Western audience and like they're not the Japanese actors and it's, is not made by a Japanese studio, you're in trouble.
It might be Seinfeld again. Like that's what happened with Cowboy Bebop. This became Seinfeld. Welcome to the ouch. Welcome to the ouch.
Yeah, totally. So here's some of the cast. I don't know any of these people, by the way, because I've never seen One Piece. But so I guess this is her. I mean, it's not a terrible thing, I guess. And she needs to have red hair, though. But that can change. I don't know. These are the wanted posters for the characters that Netflix made. And then there is this dude is gonna be the main dude. He's got the eyebrows for it.
Does it look like Luffy? Does he
yeah,
Luffy
this is gonna be Luffy. I think it's Luffy.
Does it really give me a Luffy vibe? Not really.
No, not really. I mean, he's got the eyebrows, but
it gives me like more like a goofy best friend from a 90s movie vibe.
He gives me like that guy from Stranger Things vibe. the kid, what's his name?
I haven't seen it. That's another show I haven't seen.
You haven't seen like the whole thing, or you just haven't seen the season 4?
Any of it. Any of Stranger Things.
Oh, okay. Season 1's great. Season 4 is pretty good. Season 2 and 3 are fucking awful. You could just skip that shit. God, I forget what the guy with the no teeth. That you guys know what I'm talking about. Chat knows what I'm talking about. I'm just so bad with names, Literature Devil. Like I'm always like, I don't know that guy's name. I just saw the episode like 2 days ago, but I don't remember his name.
Right.
Only white people have red hair. Hey, there's some black people that have red hair. It's true. It happens. He looks like a hobbit. Okay.
I really like the one thing they did right. I like the opening song that was done, I think, by 4Kids or Funimation. Like
for One
really
Piece?
jazzy one. Yeah, for One Piece.
Okay.
It was really good. Like, he took a bite of gong gong. And that was a really good version of the opening song. Let's go, Name. It was a good one.
I have not seen it.
I like Zoro. He was actually a pretty cool character because 3 swords.
Is that this guy?
Yeah, that guy. There he is.
There you go.
That guy's awesome.
So they got an Asian guy for this dude, and I feel like that could work. He seems like he's got a nice body.
Usually
I don't mind it.
Even in the live action Ghost in the Shell with Black Widow,
Mhm.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
The
Scarlett.
Japanese actors always put in like 100%. The Japanese actors
do.
always go full into everything.
They do. I like that. Like, I actually didn't mind the ScarJo movie. I thought it was pretty good for what it was.
Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been way worse. So I was like, that's fine. I'm okay with this. Wait. So there's this dude is gonna be this dude. I mean, I think that's pretty good casting actually, because they do look very similar. Like, okay, I can see this. I think it's the dreads. This dude is gonna be this dude. Okay, he's already got the white hair. Like,
That's Sanji. That's a little weird. That's strange.
is it?
Well, that he fights exclusively with his feet. Like, I don't think I've seen him fight with his hands.
Wow.
So this guy better be like a good breakdancer or something like that, because that's basically how he fights.
Well, apparently, he's a British actor appearing in crime and war movies such as Villain and The Kill Team. Aside from acting, he also experienced working behind a camera as a writer, producer, and director. That's not what we need, like acting chops. The fuck? Okay, whatever. So that's this dude. Then there is Kobe.
I hate that character, even in the show. I just want him to die. He's like one of the first characters you see, and he's just weak and I heard he gets better, but you know, it's kind of like, have you seen that ProZD video where he's just like, oh, don't worry, guy, his character gets better, okay, he gets awesome, and like 50 episodes in, he'll get cool. Believe me, believe me. Actually, we have that video if you want to pull it up. Let me see.
Yeah, please do.
I'll
This
share
guy,
in a second.
his name is Morgan Davies, and he'll be playing Kobe, a crew member of the Alvida Pirates. Morgan Davies is known for his roles in movies such as The Tree and The Hunter, which I have seen neither of. He looks like a fucking millennial TikToker.
He's just on his phone.
Moving right along. Wow. I think they got the casting for this one down pretty fucking good, actually.
They should have got Lizzo for this one. I wouldn't mind the race swap with Lizzo.
I don't know, dude. I think they did pretty well. I like it. I like what's going on over here. I mean, she's a bigger lady. She got those big lips. I like that.
She's on the larger side, you know.
She's on the larger side. She's got that curly hair. Seems like this lady does too. I think she's all right. So she's been typecasted for the role as she sports a black wavy hairstyle similar to Alvida's pre-Devil Fruit appearance. Ilya is best known for playing in Lila in HBO's Max's teen drama, The Sex Lives of College Girls. Wow.
That's a weird credit. Okay.
That is a weird credit.
That's fine, I guess.
Okay, let's see what you got over here.
Let's see. All right, here we go. So to me, this is how Cubby went.
I don't know about this guy. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. I'm too scared.
This guy fucking sucks. No,
That was exactly me. This guy sucks. This guy sucks. Just die.
he gets better.
I'm scared.
And that was a chat when I expressed my feelings about Kobe as a character. And like, oh, he gets better. He gets better. But right now, this guy sucks.
gonna run away.
Don't run away, Benji. Could we meet you?
Are you kidding? Fuck this guy. He's pretty bad right now, but he gets way better. The Benji you knew is long gone, Tomoko. You can count on me. I won't abandon my friends ever again. You gotta trust me on this.
Oh, I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm so scared.
Okay, well, right now, this guy fucking sucks.
Now I'm peeing and pooping my pants. 'Cause I'm so scared.
Just wait till episode 50.
Yeah, just wait till
Oh,
episode
just wait till
50.
episode 15. That's funny.
Yeah, let's wait till episode 50. He'll get better. Like, okay, yeah, okay.
And it does it. And you're just like, please, fuck. Oh my God.
Just wait till episode 50. Kobe get better, you guys. Okay. Like, well, right now this guy sucks.
Wow. Okay, so this dude,
Oh,
what
it's
is his
Arlong.
nose?
He's a shark man. He's like a clan member. Like he's like a white supremacist, but like instead of white people, sharks. He like fish people. So he wants to
Wow.
take over the world. He wants to kill the human race in order for the shark people to take over. And he's really, really evil. Like he's the first really
So
evil
he's
guy.
like King Shark, but like
he's smart. Like he's smart. He's in
human
charge.
version.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
really smart. He's on the ball. Like he takes over a village, kills everyone that like even questions his rule. He forces everyone to pay taxes, which is like the most evil thing he can do. And also he keeps Nami, which is the red hair girl, in captured for like all of her life. And she just because she's really good at making maps. Like, she's really good at charting things down. So he
Mhm.
has her in there charting down all the seas. And then once all the seas are charted down, as far as you can tell, he's going to launch an invasion. But he keeps her there locked up, after killing her adopted mom and slaughtering a bunch of people. And basically, she gives herself to the pirates and works for them to ensure that her people in the village are safe. But she can't say it. So to them, she just betrayed everybody. So she's willing, as a little girl, she's willing to take on all this negative stigma to work for people she absolutely hates. She even gets a tattoo on her arm to signify that she's part of Arlong's crew, and then works for them to help them with the invasion, all so they could save the people that she loves. So I mean, it's way more complicated than I'm pretty sure they're going to make her. That's way more complexity than they usually give female characters today. Usually, they're just awesome and men are evil, and that's about it.
Oh my god. Nico for 5 says One Piece creator has an expectation, I'm guessing expectation of nationality of the character. Google it. It's not that off. Expectation?
Of the nationality of the characters.
What? So what am I Googling?
Oh yeah, so they made so they have. I guess the creator has like different nationalities for characters.
Oh,
they're not all Japanese.
No, they're not. I mean, I was looking at the picture. You could tell some of them are like not even human. I'm like, what is that? Like this guy. Like I was like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, that guy is Arlong. That's a really interesting arc. It's a really cool
I
arc.
mean, that sounds interesting. What you just told me, that sounds interesting. I'm just one of those people who I like. I can't stand anime that goes past a certain amount of episodes. And if it does go past a certain amount of episodes, it has to be really fucking good for me to like be like, okay, I'm investing my time. For example, like I love Monster, and Monster is about 190. I think it was about 195 episodes. And like that is probably the only anime that, and Inuyasha is the only anime that I'll make exceptions for at this point in my life. But other than that, it's like, nah. Like when some like that's why I was like laughing at this guy because he said 50, more like 500 when it comes to One Piece. Because every time I went near One Piece, I was like,
it's a lot of episodes.
No, like no. But also, I've never been a fan of the animation style of One Piece. Like, even when I tried, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to try. Like, I'm going to try because so many people told me, like, you got to watch this. You got to watch this. I was like, okay, fine. Try first couple of episodes and see if I can get into it. And I did. And I couldn't. Like, I was like, I cannot get into this animation stuff to save my life. So I'm already not enjoying it. And I know how long the story is going to be. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just out. Like, I'm like, I'm okay on this one. Like, no, it's just not my cup of tea. And I understand
understandable
that some people like it. Okay. If you're saying 70 episodes and it was 95, it's not 195, it's 95. Because I remember that it was like 95 was in there. Then it's 95 episodes. And that's as far as I'm willing to go. Like, that's it. It's a personal choice, and I'm okay with that.
Let's see.
200 Watt Studios for 5 wants to know, why are they culturally appropriating Japanese culture?
Very good question.
That's a good question. I mean, it seems, I mean, mind you, this isn't Japanese culture. This is like some Sharkman culture. I don't know what the fuck that is, but yeah.
He's legitimately racist. He's like the shark people, the fish people.
Why are they making
superior.
the black guy like the KKK shark dude?
I don't know, but it was like, I mean, he takes the racism to like disturbing level. Like, he wants to eliminate humans. Like, it's really strange.
Wow.
Like, whoa, this guy's really evil, and he's a good bad guy. He's like the most villainous bad guy I've ever seen in a Hawaiian shirt. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, that does sound interesting. Thank you so much for that $5, 200 Watt Studio. So there's more. There's this clown dude.
Oh yeah, that guy's actually
Jeff Ward.
His picture has "I voted" in there. It's not a good sign.
I was gonna say it seems like he is a clown, but hey, you know what? He could have voted for the other side. We don't know who he voted for.
But Buggy is technically a
we
good
do.
character.
Yeah,
He's really interesting because I think he's the first guy. The crew encounters with the devil fruit, and he's a chop man, which essentially means he can detach his limbs and use those limbs to fight people. So he can actually just send his. Ever seen the new Suicide Squad movie? It's kind of like the detachable kid. Like he can send his fists everywhere, his legs everywhere, his head.
Okay.
And he gets in trouble at one point because he gets defeated, and most of his body is just gone, and he's just like feet, hands, and a head. He has to survive. But then he goes in and he saves his, like there's a whole like filler episode.
I've heard that the characters in this are really, really good. Like in One Piece, I've heard that the characters are really good. I mean that's why I'm having a hard time understanding how they're going to adapt these amazing animated characters into live action ones. I don't know if you can do it. Like it's a very, very big undertaking. Let's see here. So this dude. Jeff Ward played Deke Show in Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I never watched that. Did you watch that?
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., I started it. And then I think I watched episode 1, and I kind of got bored.
Okay. Well, apparently he was this dude in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've never seen him, but there you go. He voted, guys. He voted. There's this dude, Vincent
I don't know who that guy is.
Hey, he looks kind of like the character. I like it. I don't mind this.
Yeah, he actually does look like a live action version of the character. I don't know who that character is. I don't think.
You know what? This is what I've always talked about when it comes to like live action remakes of anything, and that includes superhero movies, like comic books or whatever you want to call it. Just make the characters look like the characters. Like I don't care
what they did a good job with that in Watchmen. The Watchmen movie, they did, for whatever it's worth, they actually did make the characters like their characters in the comic book, which I appreciated.
That's what I like. I like it when the character looks like the character. I don't care what color their skin is. I don't care what their sex is or whatever. I just like it when they look like the character. And this guy, he really resembles this character so far. So I think this is a good cast, whatever this is. Vincent is praised for his roles in Zack Snyder's 300, Troy, and Clash of Titans. So there you go. He's a very predominant actor. Seems like he'll have the acting chops to play this.
Oh, his grandfather, Monkey D. Luffy. Okay. I don't think I've gotten that far.
Oh, okay. Then there's this dude, Aiden Scott as Helemapo. I mean, he doesn't not look like him, I guess. This can be solved with makeup and costuming.
Oh, yeah.
That's also the other thing, too. It really depends on the costumes and, like, how well they do with the costumes. Because you know how they kind of really fucking blew that on Cowboy Bebop?
I think they did so purposefully.
You think so?
Because as far as I can tell, all of them don't really want to be copying. They want to do their own thing because, as they said, they want to correct the wrongs of the anime.
Right. Right. See, that's when you get into trouble. Like, if you actually do copy the characters and make them look like the characters, I think that it could be actually, like, it has potential. It does have potential to be good. 200 Watt Studios for 5 says, Nina, One Piece completely changes its animation style, or its anime style after the first 50 episodes. It's interesting. Yeah. After the first 50 episodes. That's fucking incredible.
It gets good after the first 50. Okay.
It gets good after the first 50. It was kind of like that for me too with the other anime that I watched. It was Clash of Titans.
Attack on Titan?
Yeah, oh yeah, Attack on Titan. I was like, at first I started watching the anime and I was like, this animation style is terrible. Like, I couldn't get into the first season at all. Like, I was like, I like this story and that's what kept me going, but I'd already read the manga. So I was kind of like, I already know the story. Like, I don't really need to watch this, but I guess I will because people are saying it's good. But then, like, later on, they changed the anime. like the style. Like I think the studio changed or something, but in season 2 it was all different. Like they totally changed it. And in season 3 they got improved again. I think it was like the budgeting or something changed. But they improved the animation for Attack on Titan. After the first 50 episodes. I'm never watching this show. Okay, here we go. Do you think they're gonna make Attack on Titans in live action?
I think they already did.
Really? I never even knew.
They had cars and everything or something.
That's crazy. I never heard about that.
I think one series you might like is Claymore. Have you seen Claymore?
Yes, I've seen Claymore, but I hate the fact that it doesn't have an ending.
Yeah, it doesn't. The anime is like, well, let's gonna leave it here and never pick it up again.
Yeah, I was so pissed. That and 12 Kingdoms. I was so fucking annoyed. I was like, I don't understand. You make like such a good anime, but there's no goddamn ending. And so I started reading the Claymore manga because there was no ending.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, I gotta read this shit. But then
Claymore's really good.
I left it though. Like, so I've kind of forgotten what the story is, and I never finished it. I was like, God, this is taking forever. But it was good. It was good. It was really
I really
good.
like Claymore. That's how you make a female protagonist.
Yeah, it was so good. Did you like? Is the manga finished for that? Like, is it done?
I assume it would be. At least I know it was past the anime.
Well, yeah, I know that, but yeah, I just like I couldn't at the time. Something happened, I remember, and I stopped reading the manga, and then I forgot to go back to it.
Right.
I
started reading Spy X Family.
And after 50 episodes, there's only 1,000 more.
There's only 1,000 more. Yeah, with One Piece, it's like 50 episodes is nothing.
I know. It's literally like 1,000 episodes. And then somebody told me, I think it was Kai or somebody was like, yeah, the person who's like the creator of One Piece is sitting down and like jotting down what they want to do for the ending or whatever, like now. And I was like, it's been like fucking 1,000 episodes, bro. Like fucking milking it much. Like, Jesus Christ, just end the damn thing.
Yeah, but it's still going. Like, it's still like the One Piece manga is still selling in top 10, hundreds of thousand copies in a month. So,
well, that's what happened with Bleach.
Envious,
and he kept going, and then he was like, and then you know what? The ending sucked because he couldn't end it. Like he couldn't end it well at that point because it went on for too long.
It was made to keep going. It wasn't made to end. It's made to go on forever.
I can't stand anime like that anymore.
Speaking of anime, I have another video if you want to check it out about character ages in anime. You have no idea how old anyone is.
Oh my God, that's like one of the arguments too. It was like they all look like lolis because it's like she's like 1,000 years old, but she's like, looks like a baby. And I'm like, dude, I don't like those things.
Let's see.
My name is Azalea Evergreen. I was a soldier in the Civil War, and I killed 1,000 guys. And now I have a full-time job at a post office or something. How old am I?
I don't know, 22?
14 years old.
How the fuck does she have a job?
My name is Soski. I was a former piano prodigy, but after years of competition, I left the stage due to psychological trauma. Life is but a series of petals fluttering onto a pond, rippling into starlight, a cosmic dance of infinite possibilities.
16?
I'm 8.
Children, don't talk like this.
I'm just a little baby girl.
0?
I'm 1,000.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
that's funny. Oh, Claymore's finished now. Okay, good to know. Maybe I'll go back to that. God, I've forgotten so much of it though. I'll have to like reread the whole thing.
I think it's all on Shonen Jump, which is like a couple of dollars a month for everything they have.
Like for the manga?
Yeah, for the manga. So Shonen Jump,
nice.
the Shonen Jump app has like everything on there. It's got Claymore as Dragon Ball, Ball Z. It's got Spy X Family. It's everything on there.
Oh, that's cool. I gotta check that out. You're Barmy, thank you so much for $5. Says Nina secretly likes the episodes 100 to 200 of filler in Naruto. Don't be fooled. The only show that I made an exception for when it came to that was Inuyasha. And that's the only reason I did that too is because I was a kid back then. Like when I was growing up, like Inuyasha was on, you know? And so like, well, I wasn't a kid, but I was like 16, 17. And that's like a kid, you know what I mean? And so like, it was kind of like like I just needed to know what happens. Like I was like, I'm gonna watch this thing to the end. I was obsessed with that show.
Right.
So now, like, you know, but now it's like as an adult, like I'm not gonna go watch like something that's like 500 episodes. It's just not gonna happen.
It makes sense. There's a lot of episodes.
It's just too much time. But you know what though? Like there was a lot of Inuyasha episodes that I was like, motherfucking fillers, man. Like, no, just stop with this bullshit. Like there was a lot of episodes that I was like, this needs to go. Like this just needs to not be part of this. So now I know like which ones are good and which arcs to skip, you know? And other people have told me that too. Like they were like, you know, you should just skip a certain amount of like Naruto or One Piece or
Skip
whatever.
the
Like
first 3,000 episodes. It gets
yeah,
good
like just skip from this part to this part. And I'm like, first of all, my OCD-ness like doesn't let me skip episodes. Like I'm just like, I'm not a skip kind of person. But
What if you miss
also,
what if you miss something?
yeah, what if you miss something? But also it's like, I just don't have like when it comes to the animation style specifically for One Piece, it's like I just don't have what it takes to do the investment initially. It's true. I was one of those girls. I was completely in love with Sesshomaru. And I still might kind of be in love with him. It's true. I will not lie. He's so hot. I want to watch that new series that they have where it's about their kids. And I was like, what?
Those
They
are
made
kids.
a new one about their kids. Like, I have to watch this. That's the only one that I will make an exception for. I don't care how many episodes it is. I have watched all of it. I watched it. Yes. I've watched both. I've watched the first one, the original anime, and I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. He's waiting for you. Oh my God.
He's waiting. He's there.
God, he's so amazing. He's so hot. Okay, so this guy is going to be this dude. Again, I could see it.
Well,
like,
that's
I mean, his
Shanks.
hair needs to change.
That's like Luffy's mentor. That's where he got the straw hat from.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, he's got the beard.
He got
I
the best
like
pirate
the
ever.
nose. He like the makeup can take care of the scar and also like costuming for the hair. But I could see it. Like it's not bad. It's not a bad cast. Peter Godot confirms that production crew has filming in Cape Town, South Africa's official. Oh, okay, wait, what? What's he done? James. Okay, he and also plays Adam in Yellow Jackets. I've never.
I thought this was Queen of South Park for a second. Like,
Yeah, Queen of the South, and also plays Adam in Yellow Jackets. I've never seen him in anything. Okay, that's that. John Henry as Full Body.
No idea who that is. Apparently he works for the Marines. But okay.
Oh, okay.
The Marines are like the people that stop all the pirates because they work for the government or something like that. And
All right.
not all of them are good guys. Some of them are actually pretty evil.
Oh, okay. I can't see anything about this except that this guy's got pink hair and pink eyebrows. And I mean, he's got the stubble. This guy's got the stubble. But otherwise, he's definitely going to need a lot of makeup to become this person. It could be done. It can be done. Whoa.
I have no idea who this is.
Okay, this is a great cast. I can tell you that right now. Like whatever's going on with this is okay. But they found the human version of it.
I have
All
no
right.
idea who Chu is. But okay.
With his long, pale, blonde, natural hair, fans believe that Len Mary Simons is a perfect actor. Yeah, he is. He looks exactly like this fucking dude. Okay. You know what? Maybe One Piece is not going to be so bad for the live action. I don't know. It just seems like they're doing an okay job with the casting so far. Just based on this dude alone. How do they find this guy? All right. Well, he was in, okay, let's see. He appears, blah, blah, blah. Simon starred in local South African movie productions, Lycra and Petticoats, and Somer something, whatever. Okay, some South African movies. Okay, so he's been in things, but we don't know what. Okay. Then there's this dude. Wow, he's literally making the same hand gestures.
Oh, that's the cat pirate guy. He's a cat pirate. So the reason why he makes the hand, he puts it with his palm or whatever, because he usually wears these long claws, and he's very stealthy. I think they're called the kitty pirates or something like that. He's like the king. He wears cat ears and stuff.
Oh,
Like when he goes full blown. But he's the pirate who wants to quit because he's ruthless and evil. But he wants to quit being a pirate, so he kind of becomes like a butler for a while, and
what?
framing
That's
it
so
as
weird and random. Okay.
well, he becomes a butler. Like he kills this girl's like parents, and then becomes her butler. Like, oh, I'm out of nowhere, and I'm gonna take care of you. And so he wants to. His plan involves like getting her fortune somehow, and that's kind of where it goes, where you can have like a fortune, and they can just like lounge around forever, retired. And then he ends up killing lots of his own crew because hey, you know who I am, can't have that happen. And he's like a really good fight. This is kind of funny. He's a cat pirate. He's like a cat boy pirate.
That's hilarious. He's a cat boy. I mean, this guy looks like a cat boy, so
The guy looks like he's gonna lecture me on Trump or something.
hey, like again,
He is evil.
they kind of did a good job with this. All right. So let's see. This guy's a South African television drama appearing in shows like Seven de Lan. A lot of South African people. That's interesting. They're not just casting people from like the US or like, Britain. That's an interesting casting choice. All right. Then there's this dude. Stephen Ward as Mihawk. Hey, look,
Ooh,
again,
Mihawk. Okay.
this guy like kind of fits this picture, okay? Like he's got this weird chiseled jaw here, and so does this guy.
Let's give him a wig and a mustache. He kind of looks like him a little bit.
He does look like him a little bit. Like he's got the big full eyebrows. Like if it turns upwards a little bit, like you've got the eyebrows, and he just needs that weird mustache, and that's it. Spiky hair, you're done.
That Mihawk is Zoro's rival. He's like the best swordsman ever. I think he works for Shanks. I forgot. They might have been like friends or something. But he could just defeat you with like a butter knife. He could do whatever he wants. Like he's really, really good at fighting.
Wow. So this guy has to be good at like martial arts and fighting
Sort of.
stuff.
Like he's like he doesn't really fight so much as knows exactly where to poke you with a butter knife and then kill you.
Oh wow, okay.
But I mean, he cuts his ship in half. I think with like a really short sword. He's a really good swordsman.
Wow. Okay. So he previously appeared as Elton in this episode of Queen Sauna and other television series under a popular streaming service. Okay. Again, I'm not familiar with that, but all right. Then there's this dude. Wow, another character that looks very similar to their animation counterpart. Look at this guy's nose. Look at this guy's nose.
That guy's okay. That story is awesome. So that's the guy who raised Sanji. That guy was like a ruthless pirate / cook. He's a pirate captain / cook, but he also fights with his feet. He taught Sanji to fight with his feet. But okay, so there's different stories to this guy. I think well, in the anime, he gets his foot caught, and he has to cut it off to save Sanji, which is really strange because he's this random kid. And he's like this ruthless pirate, and they get stranded on an island for like a month or so without any food. Well, Sanji gets food. We find out that he gave all of this food to Sanji, and he didn't have any of it for himself. But they wait for like a month to get rescued, and turns out this guy, in one version of the story, I think in the manga or something like that, he cuts off his own foot and eats it to survive.
Whoa,
it's pretty hardcore.
That's hardcore.
But he gave Sanji all the food, and he just pretended to give himself like a huge sack of food, but it was just a treasure. Like he just kept the treasure, and just gave Sanji all the food so he could live. But
wow.
And then he just took Sanji in and started a little restaurant on the sea.
What an interesting character.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's way better than he's not as interesting when you first see him, but he gets more interesting as the episodes continue.
But looking wise, though, just going off looks, he looks like him.
Yeah,
that's
he just
good.
Needs the
This is
flamboyant
good
mustache.
casting.
He just
You
needs
know
the
what?
mustache.
This show has a good casting director. I mean, I don't know about their acting chops, but the way they look good. Like they look like a lot of the characters fit the description. So this guy's a British actor. And he is, let's see, Craig and Taz have also worked on a couple projects together and now brings up a mentor, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So he's a British actor. All right. Let's see what he can do. Then there's this dude. Okay, see, this dude doesn't look anything like this dude. At least I don't think so.
That guy's like really huge. That guy's supposed to be really huge in the anime, and he's like, I think he's an axe for a hand or something.
Yeah, this guy looks like huge in the anime. And this guy, he just doesn't look like he would fit the part at all. I don't like this casting so far. Like versus this, like that's
I think the chef
Langley
is
had
better.
to dye his hair blonde and add 22 pounds to his usual body weight to portray this muscular Marine officer. So he's gained weight and dyed his hair. That's commitment. Okay, I could see it. All right. Maybe he's gonna step up his game. Who knows?
I guess we'll see.
Guess we'll find out. Then there's this chick, who's gonna be Kaya. I mean, I feel like you could have just casted a blonde girl. Like they're a dime a dozen. Like I don't understand why you couldn't just cast some girl that looked like her.
Looks like Anne Hathaway almost.
What, this girl?
Yeah, a little bit. It looks like Anne
Yeah, she
Hathaway.
does. She has that Anne Hathaway look. Banana facts with Banana Dave. Thank you for the
Banana
$2.
Dave.
Says, what do you think of Mad Cheesemo, Nina? Hey, LD.
Hello.
I don't know who Mad Cheesemo is.
It's
What is
mad.
that?
He has his own charade. He comes on my morning nonsense shows a lot. World class bullshitters knows him,
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
but yeah, he's around. Very funny guy. He's a funny
Huh.
guy.
Cool. Wait, is that like Mad Mardigan?
Yeah, Mad Mardigan.
Okay, yeah, I know him.
The
Oh,
greatest swordsman
God.
ever.
Mad Mardigan and I used to play Among Us together. That's how we got to know each other. And he killed me a few times, and he's a total asshole. So fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I'm still not letting it go because he was a total asshole about it. But he's all right. He's been on the channel several times. He's a good guy. Have you ever told him? Have you ever asked him about his tampon story, Literature Devil?
I don't think so.
Do it because it's disgusting. And I had to hear it once, and I will never forget it. I'm scarred.
Scarred for life.
Yeah. So I always tell everyone, like, if you want to know about Mad Cheesemo, ask him about his tampon story. John, thank you so much. John Mielik for $4.99 says, I mean, does anyone choose Inuyasha over Sesshomaru? And One Piece as live action makes no sense in my book. Enjoy the stream. I don't know if you're crazy or you're picking Inuyasha over Sesshomaru. I mean, I had a couple friends that picked Inuyasha over Sesshomaru. Although there was a bunch of girls that liked Moroku the most. The pervy fucking what's his name? The guy with the hole in his hand. I don't know if you ever seen Inuyasha.
I know who
He's
he
the
is.
monk. He's the monk.
Oh, the monk guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I think everyone just really likes making a horny monk because of the Journey to the West.
He was the horny monk. So
that's why Krillin was made, because the horny monk from Journey to the West. Like that's so they made Krillin. So in the original Dragon Ball, Krillin was like this really horny guy. So that's why they made him.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. But yeah, I mean, that's clearly Inuyasha is the wrong choice when it comes to picking over him or Sesshomaru. But thank you for the super chat. CJ, thank you so much for the $5. Says, love seeing you on the Real BBC. First time coming to one of your lives. Keep up the great content. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And make sure that you're subscribing to Literature Devil. His links are in the description.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He's pretty awesome. And I've been enjoying the show so much that I just noticed that it's
What was that, 240?
2.5 hours. Yeah, like damn. Let's finish this up and then we'll call it.
Sounds good.
Chioma Umbella as a Nojiko.
So that got okay. There's the race swap. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Our first race swap.
But I think that is their adoptive mother. I think.
Okay.
Nojiko, yeah.
Okay, no offense to this lady. She's really pretty, okay? Like, I'm not even, like, joking. She's actually really pretty. But this girl, like, I love the blue-haired, like, crazy anime girls. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't like the race swap. I think they should have picked someone that looked like her. There's a lot of girls like that now. They could have easily picked someone that has blue hair.
Oh yeah, very very
Like,
easily.
There's so many. There's so many now.
Also, she was like she's part of the Marines. Like she was an ex-Marine, and she's very tough. She has a gun. She can fight.
This chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So okay, she's excited to be in the okay. Well, you don't look like her. I'm sorry. I'm rejecting this one so far. This is a no. But then again, this is why I like when people look like their counterpart. Wait, what is this?
Hello, everyone. I'm Miyaki.
No, we're not gonna do that. I just want to see. I just want to see if there's like anything that we can look at. Like, oh, okay. So
like
here's the
remember those
ship.
smash the like button kind of Luffy, like YouTuber Luffy. Remember smash the like button.
Yeah. Okay, so these are some concepts. This is the CG boat. CG is concept art. They're making this boat. Wow. They're actually making the set. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're not making it like a fucking
total
CG. Yeah, it's gonna be like a giant green screen. That's actually kind of cool that they're that they're actually making the boat. I like that. See, there's some stuff that this show's got going for it. They clearly have some sets. They have a good casting director. I don't know. I'll be surprised if it completely bombs. It could be good. It really depends on what they do now with the acting chops of the people, the costuming, the directing, like, and the stories, like how much of the authenticity of One Piece is going to stay. But that's pretty cool that they're making the boat, because you would, like, I assumed that it was going to be all like green screen,
Right. Is that how they usually do it?
Yeah, just like how they usually do it. They kind of did like that in like Cowboy Bebop. Like that was all green screen. Like I don't think the ship had a set, like except for like the main living room. That was like the living room. That was like all a set. But everything else was not. Everything else was CGI.
That was the room where they talked about shower, bath, shower. That's how you clean yourself, stupid men. Right? Do men know anything?
Oh my!
That's how you bathe yourself. Like, can we go back to Cowboy Bebop, please?
Good Lord. Ben is correcting you on something. There you go.
That was her sister. Okay. Marine. The one is Bellamere. Okay. So the sister's one with blue hair.
200 Watt Studios for 2 coming in hot, saying it'll suck, guaranteed. Don't bother, no hope. Hey, this is Infinite Hope, okay? Like the channel. This is what we do, Infinite Hope. That's my Friday show that I do, Literature Devil. It's all about good news and having hope in the universe. It's having hope in your fellow human beings that at some point that they want to do good things. So I can't have no hope. 200 Watt Studios. You know that about me. I can't not.
I use it on Wednesday. White Pill Wednesday.
But you know what? On Wednesdays though. Oh, you do that on Wednesdays?
Yeah, I do that on Wednesday. White Pill Wednesday.
This my Wednesday show is the Black Pill one. It's like fuck off. We've no hope. We're all fucking stupid. Clown world. But yeah, this is that day for me. But I can't. This is Clown World Wednesday. But I just don't know. Like there was some signs of life, whereas in the other one, like the not YuYu Hakusho, but the Avatar, the Last Airbender, that one, I was like, no, I have very low hopes for that one.
Everything I heard of that show, they released some things they're going to do with it, and it's just everything is wrong. Everything is wrong.
Yeah. Like it's like what?
bending is new. Like bending was just discovered, and they have to go around and I don't know how bending was just discovered. It doesn't make any sense. But then
Hey,
they have to
Shane
go around
Davies
and
is in
just
the
take
chat.
everything. It was dumb. They were going to make Katara the elder sister instead of having Sokka be the elder brother, because she's the girl and she has to be smarter than everybody else.
It's so stupid. And I like you know, in the have you seen the live action movie? The M.
I
Night
knew it'd be
Shyamalan?
terrible, so I didn't watch it.
Don't watch it. It was so fucking bad because it was like they made Sokka like, because Sokka was so funny, like in a lot of ways, like
Sokka's amazing. He's
yeah,
an amazing
but
character.
he had like such like good humorous moments, right? He was like the funny dude. And like they didn't make him funny at all in like the movie version, and they like everything that he did was wrong. Like it was just like it was just like butchered his character like completely, you know, like more than anybody else.
I don't think M. Night knows how to do humor. I think all he knows is he just knows serious, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like when you don't know how to do humor correctly, like you're gonna drop the ball. 200 Watt Studios for 5 says Black Pill, the pirate show, like Garbage Day, only they dump it on your curb. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Also, to mention that Sokka is way better than people give him credit for, because he's like what 14 or something like that in the beginning of the show. And how many 14-year-olds do you know who'd be like, okay, comes a giant ship full of trained enemy soldiers. Let me go ahead and face them all on my own.
Yeah.
Basically just lay down my life and die because of honor. So like Sokka is peak machismo. Like he's a really awesome masculine character. People you might let his goofy side get in front of that, but no, that guy is awesome. Like not very many people would just get dressed up as a warrior, seeing this giant enemy ship. I mean, the Zuko ship is colossal when it arrives. It's not the other ones, but it's colossal from the perspective of the tribe that Sokka's a part of.
And he was smart too.
Yeah, he was really intelligent. He was the smart guy of the team.
Yeah, he was, and he would like think of ideas and stuff like that to do that would like, you know, counter if Aang had to like go into battle or whatever. Like let's figure something else out that we can do that would be smarter than just like going head to head with these guys that are like super strong and like much stronger than us. And then Big Chungus is right. He went from comic relief to straight up clown. It was so bad. They like, oh God, that was such a letdown. 200 Watt Studios for 2 says looks community theater adaptation of anime. Hey, you know what? Like, I'm not disagreeing. I've come to a point in my life, 200 Watt Studios, where I'm like, let anime be anime. Quit live actioning all of these fucking things and just make more anime. Like, if people like anime, why don't you just make more anime instead of like turning what they love into live action and then failing at it? Because most people just don't like the live action versions. Even the fans usually don't like the live action version of whatever it is. Even the ones that like it, they're like, well, it's not as good as the anime, you know? Right. You never hear, oh, this was better than the anime. Like, have you ever heard that?
They even had they did a survey of the Japanese people over there. It's like, which popular anime would you like to see have an American live action rendition? And they said none. That wasn't even a choice. No, they wrote that in.
Like nothing. Like, could we not do that? That's where I'm at. Like, let's just not and say we did. Okay, hold on. Let me see if we want to talk about anything else. Okay, this is funny. We're gonna hit this story real quick before we go, just because it's fucking stupid and it's clown world. Scientists urged to degender human remains.
Yeah, because you don't want to misgender them.
No, you don't want to do that. You're Barry. Thank you so much for the $2. Says don't get to catch your show often. Night. Thank you so much for your support tonight. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. So yeah, this is hilarious. Quit being a bigot. Scientists. So like LGBTQ activists And academics argue researchers can't know how ancient individuals identified themselves. Oh my God, I can't even read this. So it's basically like, let's not trust science to tell us what a person was, through biology. We don't know how they felt about it. So we should. I can't even finish the sentence. What world are we living in? A number of LGBTQ activists and academics are pushing to ban them. Anthropologists from identifying human remains as male or female, arguing that it's impossible to know how ancient individuals identified themselves. The College Fix reported Monday. Gender activists have long been pushing to inject modern sensitivities into the academic field, the article said, adding that the tweet from the Canadian master's degree candidate, oh boy, Canadian master's degree candidate Emma Palladino, posted earlier this month, has seemingly reignited the debate. Palladino, is seeking an advanced degree in archaeology, argued that transgender individuals can't escape the sex they were born with because archaeologists who find their bone one day will assign them the same gender they had at birth. Palladino called the practice, I saw that tweet, practice of assigning gender to an ancient human bullshit.
What happened to trust of science? What happened to the trust of science? I heard that all over the place.
I know. Apparently that's not good enough anymore, though. See, the thing is, there's two different sciences, Literature Devil. There's actual science where, you use knowledge and, theories and hypothesis and, just keep doing it over and try and figure out what's going on through, active practices and things like that, versus science trademark, where it's just a political fucking thing. And
science they like and science they don't like.
Yeah, science they like and science they don't like. Very good. Yeah, like it's those kind of science. And this is the kind of science that's brought to you by Science Trademark, where this individual is clearly, even though that they've got a big fancy degree, I feel like maybe they might be a little missing up here certain things. Her initial tweet garnered around 10,000 retweets and nearly 60,000 likes. She continued the thread by stating that gender plus queer archaeologists and scholars have been working for decades. No, you haven't.
The more they do this, like they're trying to we must be accepted. But the more they do this, the more they separate themselves from everyone else.
I know, right?
And so instead of being an archaeologist, it has to be a gay archaeologist. It has to be, a racial-based archaeologist. Oh, the Latino archaeologist. What they're doing is they're actually making more separations. They're actually separating each other from everyone else because they have to feel special. They're making things worse. That's how they are. You factor in resentment. They're promoting segregation, but on themselves. It's weird. It's really strange.
Yeah, it's like it's antithetical to what they're doing. Like they want to achieve a certain thing, but they're actually like making everyone turn against them. It's the same thing with this is why everything woke turns to shit. It's like the same thing we've been talking about. You make certain some things but you shove it down people's throat enough, and then people will be like, I don't want to see these people on the screen anymore. And does that make them racist then? Or is that they're just sick and tired of being preached at? You know what I mean? It's just and that's when you start seeing that pendulum swing back. And I don't want to see the pendulum swing all the way back to the other side, because all the way back to the other side is a bunch of racist fucking weirdos too. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that.
The extremists lie on those. I wanted in the middle. I think in the 90s and early 2000s, we had 20 years of things being in the middle.
Exactly. Or I mean, even in the 80s, man, like the 80s, like TV had a lot of good stuff, you know,
Oh yeah,
TV and
I love 80s action movies for one.
yeah, action movies. Like, I mean, like everything. Like, I think, like that's why it was so shocking because I thought we like had solved all those problems in the 80s, but I don't know. I guess I was the only one. It's just so crazy. 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, agree with that. The Last Jedi of anime adaptations. It's, yeah, man, I'm over it. I'm over it with this bullshit with the live action stuff. Wolfsbane, thank you so much for the $5. Says the dub of wait, how you say this word? For Yusuke.
YuYu Hakusho? Oh, Yusuke.
Yeah.
The dub for Yusuke.
Yeah, Yusuke. In YuYu Hakusho was straight up savage. So many comebacks and roasts. Also, who's your favorite Avatar characters? 1 hero and 1 villain. Wow, okay. You go first.
My favorite hero is obviously Sokka. He's awesome. He's like just the man's man. Sure. And he gets all the ladies. Like he's like the perfect character for a hero. And then obviously my favorite villain is I really like the character Azula. She was interesting to me.
Nice.
That's about it though.
That's very.
I do like Iroh, obviously, but I don't know where he's not really a hero in terms of character. Like he doesn't really do much. Like he just supports Zuko, but he's definitely not a villain.
He's definitely not a villain. I would say he's more of a hero than a villain.
Yeah, I haven't come out with my Iroh Secretly Evil video yet, so he's still a good guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Iroh a lot. But I guess out of like the main characters, I think Toph would probably be my favorite one.
And Toph is good, yeah.
I just really liked her. She was just so badass and like she always has some sort of comeback and like she was just so fucking amazing. And like I was actually surprised. Like I remember when I was watching the show, like I was surprised that she was blind. Like I was like, hey, this is so cool, but she can see with her feet. Like this is so cool. Like I was like, I was into it. Like I was like, this is so cool. What a weird character. And I really do like Aang too. Like I like his struggle, but I think my favorite one's Toph. As far as villains go, Zuko, because I think he's very complicated. But Zuko kind of turns though. So is he a villain? I don't know what he is.
Complicated. You could totally fix him. I think even though I know this is gonna be cringe, but I know narrative wise, okay. Zuko and Katara work best together story wise. It's really weird that Katara ends up with Aang. But this is a meme that someone made. It was me. And
I like how you got your own fucking face on it.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, Katara's the best. Like, no.
I mean, I really like Azula too, but she was a good villain.
Like, really good villain.
She was a really good villain.
She outthinks a spy master in his own game. It's pretty awesome.
So do we count Zuko as a villain or a hero? I don't even know. Because he's both.
He becomes like villain Zuko or like hero Zuko better, I guess you could say. Because they're two different guys.
I don't I mean, I like it's weird when you say you like a villain, you know what I mean? I like villain Zuko because I hated villain Zuko. Like I was like, I fucking hate this dude. But I like that, you know? So I guess Zuko.
And Zuko was a villain. He was a really good villain.
He was a good villain. Like I like hating him, you know?
That reminds me of that one part where they hired that one lady with the big mole thing to go and track them down. Mm-hmm. At the end, they all get stung by the tongue. And Iroh is like, Zuko and Iroh and the lady, they all get stung. And then Zuko's like, Iroh, you didn't get hit with a tongue because the lady's on him. He's paralyzed on him. And he's like, shh, quiet.
Oh my God. Yeah, I like that. And I don't know, it's like Zuko, it's weird because like do you remember that scene where he's like on the cliff and he's talking to I think he was like talking to his dad. And he's like, kind of like, and it was like raining on his face. And that was like his moment where he kind of like switched and he did the thunder thing and he was like, and he like shot the thunder into the air.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was crying, but you couldn't see his tears because it was raining on him. Oh man, that scene got me, bro. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, Zuko. Like it's the struggle, man. Like, oh, that was such a good scene. I love that show. So good.
I think he was trying to like redirect lightning, but he couldn't do it.
No, he couldn't. But then he did it though, and he used his anger and his sadness to do it, and it was so fucking
Because
good.
he's so edgy and he's so damaged.
Yeah, he was so
They-
damaged.
They knew
though.
it too because they had Katara go like, oh, she's like she hates him, and then they meet in Ba Sing Se, and she's like, oh, you're damaged. I could heal you with my special magic water, and she starts to like him after that, and then he betrays her, and then he's like, oh, well, he's not such a good guy.
Yeah.
So but she starts to like him. Like, she starts to
you-
like him for a minute.
Did you like that thing? Like, did you want him to get like? Were you shipping them together? Or were
No,
you
I wanted her
shipping-
to end up with Aang because that's kind of
Yeah, I
where it was
wanted her to
going.
end
But
up-
character wise and narrative wise, on a mechanical level, she probably should have been paired with Zuko. But I prefer him with Mai because that's kind of also set up how it is. Like they're perfect together also.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Mai is like broody and like this angry at things, and Zuko is broody and angry at things. Those kind
Yeah.
of just annoyed together.
That was funny. I wonder about that sometimes. That if it would have been funnier if he had ended up with my. Bird Up for 5 says, "Don't feel weird for liking a villain. My favorite character on Breaking Bad was Gus. Oh, that's cool.
Gustavo Fring.
I like on Breaking Bad. My favorite character was I forget his name. The main guy, like not Walter White, but the other guy, the kid.
Yeah, Jesse
Jesse.
Pinkman.
That's right, Jesse Pinkman.
Yo.
I love him.
I like when they're trapped out in the desert. It's like we need to build like a robot or something like that. And then Walt's like, "That's it. You're gonna build a robot? No, Jesse, not a robot."
I like Jesse. I thought he was like he's just so simple and like I identified with him a lot. I thought he was good. Oh my god. I'll never forget Walter White for killing that girl. Like I'll never forget it. I was like,
he was evil. Like he got really
he's
really
so
evil.
fucking evil. Oh my god, that was a good show too. Well, Literature Devil, it's been 3 hours. Oh my god, I can't believe we've been talking for this long. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. It was a fantastic show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. We got to do this again soon and just talk about just anime and stuff we like because that was really fun. I didn't even get to any of the other stories, and I don't even care. I don't even want to talk about them because, like, who cares about Canada and the fact that there's Hockey Canada is having sexual assault.
And Trudeau doesn't.
Problems. Oh my God, he totally is pretending to care right now. It's pretty funny actually because he was all like, "Those guys should be ashamed of themselves." And
he cares
like,
about Canada the same way like Ryan Johnson cared about Star Wars. Like I pretend to care, but not really. I don't really
yeah,
care.
totally. It's totally like that. One last thing before we go, though, Literature Devil. What did you think of Brad Pitt's outfit on the red carpet?
Very stunning and brave.
Right?
So
I
stunning.
can tell you that my attraction for Brad Pitt died a lot.
I don't know what it is
after
about men at a certain age. Like Brad Pitt is what almost 60, I think.
Yeah, he's pushing it. He's pushing 60.
What is it about men who turn 60 and their balls just drop off? What happens? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Brad Pitt, like everyone
He's 58.
He's 58, but he's pushing 60.
Mhm.
But like, you know, somehow when a man becomes 60, his balls drop off. I don't know what happens. Like the same thing would happen with Arnold Schwarzenegger. All these guys, like there's really, really tough guys with
These
tough
badass
legacies.
dudes, yeah, like especially like the rock stars. It's like they all just like became very fucked up. Yeah, you're right. Like, damn, grow a pair. Like, and I noticed that people were like saying that he's wearing a kilt. This is not a kilt, you guys.
It's not usually what the kilt looks like.
That's not a fucking kilt.
It's
Okay.
like a blouse too. I don't know what's happening.
And what is going on with this jacket? He looks like a hobo. Like he looks terrible. I don't know who dressed him. I don't know if he lost a bet or what the fuck happened. But bro, no. Like I was still attracted to Brad Pitt until I saw this. And I was like, oh my God. That's pretty funny.
What is this?
Somebody memed it. It's like one of the reply. Nice throwback. Like, oh my God, he actually looks like that. I don't know who that is, but like, wow.
That's awesome. Go Brad Pitt. Very stunning and brave.
Is that like Ellen? Oh my
Oh,
god!
yeah, I
Somebody
think
put
so.
Ellen's face on it. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Fat Steven. I'm liking that.
You know, this was a thing like back in the 80s, but like when David Bowie did it, that was actually a stunning and brave because you could die for wearing a
Well,
a
and
dress.
when David Bowie did it, he didn't look like a bum. Like what the
He looked
fuck?
fabulous.
He looked great. David Bowie could pull it off, but like this is like, dude. I mean, and like when you wear a kilt too, like, you know what? That's probably what it is. Testosterone level drops. When you wear a kilt, it's completely different. Like there's still sexual attraction towards men who wear kilts because kilt can be very masculine. Like, have you seen Braveheart? Okay, like it can be a very masculine situation with kilts. This is not a kilt. So no, Brad Pitt, it's not sexy. You're not bringing sexy back with that weird hobo outfit.
Not with
And
a dress.
I just had to make a comment about that. But yeah, so that's it. Literature Devil, thank you again. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube and the Literature Devil. Having a lot of fun. Usually have a morning stream every weekday morning around, I think, 7:30 Central, 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So you want to check it out? You go over all kinds of nonsense. It's called morning nonsense. It could be whatever. On Fridays, we have Weeb Day. So you want to check in for that. But yeah, otherwise, as YouTube upload videos on there, go live stream almost every weekday. So there we go. If you're interested in any of that.
Nice. And then I'm going to put your channel in the chat right now. It's already in the description, but I'm going to put it in the chat as well, so it's easy for you guys to go and subscribe. Oh wait, Grumpy is dropping the links. There you are. Grumpy, you're awesome. Thank you for
Thank you very
modding,
much.
man.
Appreciate it.
So make sure that you are subscribed to Literature Devil and follow him on Twitter. It's also in the description. Thank you so much, man. It's been so fun. And as for me, you guys can catch me on Friday for Infinite Hope, where I talk about hopeful things and try and balance out the show and talk about good things at 2:45 on Fridays. So come and hang out with me then. Literature Devil, are you going to watch the new Amazon
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings?
I just might watch that one. See how that one goes.
Well, if you are going to watch it, on Sunday nights at 7 Eastern, my group and I are planning on reviewing every episode. So if you want to join us, you are more than welcome to.
I'll make sure to watch it. I have Amazon Prime, so I may just watch it anyway.
Well, there you go.
Because I'm not as attached to Lord of the Rings as most people, so I can probably withstand it.
I think you might be. So have you read the books?
I read The Hobbit. I started Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit was really good, the book, but I'm not a Tolkien scholar or anything like that.
Sure. I mean, I've only read the books too. Like I've only read like the Lord of the Rings books and watched the movies, of course. But like
Right.
I've only read the books. I haven't read the
Silmarillion
or anything. I mean, I love the books. I think the books are amazing, but I'm not a huge scholar or anything like that. But I think I have enough knowledge of the books and movies to be able to have a good opinion about it. Yeah, so you're welcome to join us if you want to join us.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
There you go. So then you might be seeing Literature Devil a lot here. That would be cool. Okay, everybody, love you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And thank you for being here and chatting with us. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Or this Friday. Bye.